Mikelti Lefau! Mikelti Lefau! Oh, I love me some Mikelti. Good evening, everybody. How are we doing on this very fine Monday night? Yes, we're here once again for you know what it is. It is, of course, the Monday night live stream. Hope we're doing well. Harry, how's it going? First one in the chat. Welcome in, Harry. On your mate, killing it. Simmy boy, evening, gentlemen, just washing the dishes and listening in. Well, I hope you didn't break any. Hope you didn't break any dishes as I come in there, flying with some Mikelti love. We gotta love us some Mikelti Lefau. Ian, I am now officially living my Supercoach life through my 15-year-old son's team as he ranked 215th last week. Bro, your son, you should be so proud of your son. You should be really proud of your boy. He's learnt some great things from you. You should be happy. Velo, how's it going, my friend? What did I say about your Bombers last week? Bro, it's crazy that a Carlton fan had more faith in my Bombers than I did. But you're not the one that's going in with the PTSD. You're not the one who's had Liberatore tear us a new one every single time. Or Bontempelli. Or Cody the Flea Waitman. We put him under lock and key on your Tim Kelly, smashed him. Unfortunately, they smashed my team in the process, but it is what it is. I shouldn't say it is what it is. Bloody hell, I need to stop saying that. Jackie Saunders, 2 words, Joey. Mikelti Lefau. Oh, Mikelti, bro, I want to pull him up. I actually want to pull up some Mikelti Lefau love because honestly, this guy has made me so happy. I don't know why I didn't select him. I really had to select Mikelti. But the fact that I didn't, shame on me. Let me share this goddamn screen here. We got to get Mikelti. We got to get Mikelti Lefau. And let's sort of do it that way. Let's do it that way. Mikelti Lefau, a 108. If you don't mind, we're going to also open up Supercoach. No. Joe's Supercoach career over is what it's actually supposed to say. But let's just move across here. Let's get Mikelti on the line. Mikelti, you are an absolute superstar. If you guys went ahead and got Mikelti Lefau, well done. He's gone up 56.6 thousand with a negative 52 break even. Well done. Sensational. West Coast Eagles roll. Congratulations. That was a super win by your boys. An absolute super win. And I tipped you. I actually tipped you guys. So did Big J. To be fair, Big J tipped you also. So well done. You made, bro, I don't know what's up with poor Richmond. They are so decimated. You made Elliot Yeo look like bloody Gary Ablett. Big J, how's it going, mate?
What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. It's an interesting one. That's all I'm going to say. Elliot Yeo went kabang. A lot of players went kabang. A lot of my players didn't go kabang. Hopefully your players went kabang. That's all I'm going to say.
Bro, yeah, I was literally just saying, Elliot Yeo just won an absolute tear. 157. Like, this is ridiculous. He's making everyone double think their priorities in life now all of a sudden.
All season, Joe, I've been saying Elliot Yeo looks good. Elliot Yeo's a pick. Get Elliot Yeo in your team. It was cheap. The only problem with Elliot Yeo is this is the last week of him effectively being cheap, which is the tough thing. Of course. Yeah. North Melbourne's in trouble. North Melbourne's in a lot of trouble. We're going to get number 1 pick again. West Coast are going to beat some legit teams. I think they've been competitive in the last couple of games that weren't this week as well. So they're gonna surprise some teams. 100%, they're gonna get higher up on the ladder. Something drastically has to change at North Melbourne. Maybe it's like a mid-season draft pick that comes in and it's just fantastic or something. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Need Ben Mackay, big Benny boy Mackay would be pretty good in that backline right now.
It's not a defense problem though. That's the problem with North Melbourne. Like it's
an everything problem.
It's everywhere. It's something everywhere, which is the issue. So Ben Mackay, oh yeah, fantastic. But I don't know if it's gonna, fix all our issues that we need to be done.
Hey Jamon, I'm thinking that if you were to wait for Steele another week, he might be out of reach because I honestly feel that Jack Steele, this might be the last week you can afford him in. 624K, he's already pretty expensive. A break even of 70, and he's got the Dogs this week at Marvel without Libba. So, and the way he's going, he's literally getting better every single bloody week. 119, 120, 126, 142, 143. So he's gone up by 1 here, and then 6, and then 6 again, and then 1. So it's possible that this 143, if the trend continues, guys, he's going to go 149 this week against the Bulldogs if the trend continues.
Hey, that'd be pretty good. Yeah, Jack Steele's a real interesting one. There's a reason why I wanted people to come in and get, him last week. Similar to Elliot Yeo, right? There's a bit that you can kind of sustain for a little while. There's a reason why I jumped on him and Nick Martin. He's just a really good player. I think Steele is effectively right now, I think he's M2. I think Matt Rowell is M1. And then Jack Steele is currently averaging second highest out of all the midfielders.
We filter
third or fourth highest out of everybody, I think.
Average. Oh, Sam Walsh obviously came in with a bomb. And then you get Matt Rowell and Jack Steele. Yeah.
So if you look at Jack Steele, he's effectively a similar price. Has already jumped up. I hate saying it's too late to bring in a player. I really hate saying it's too late. But you've had 5 weeks of Jack Steele price increases and price scoring. Come on, guys. At some point, was it after the third 120 in a row? You were like, oh, maybe Jack Steele's an okay player at this footy thing. Oh, last week 142, not too bad. Okay, and then this week, not saying it's too late, but it's getting there.
Math's not your strong suit, Joe. 12, 126 plus 16 is 142. I'm just looking at. I'm just looking between round 1 and round 2. He went up 1, and then he went up 6, and then 6 again. Now he's gone up 1. I don't know if he's going to go up another 6. I don't know. I've sort of lost my track now, guys. It's a Monday night. It's been a busy day. It is what it is. Don't say it is what it is. Oh no, I need to stop saying this. You keep saying it all the time. And you've seeped into my brain, and now Velo has got a $5 into end-of-season trip fund for every time I say it is what it is.
Mate, Velo's going to have a good bloody trip, I tell you what.
Bro, Velo's flying a freaking gold first class to bloody Rome or something at the end of the year. Unbelievable.
Yeah. I'm just
J1.
saying there's a few of these type of players this year. Elliot Yeo at the moment, Jack Steele, there's a few of these other ones that are getting around where, coaches and Supercoach should probably end up having them in very soon.
Yep. Velo's asking you, Big J, would you pick Drury or Biggie this week as a cheap rookie?
Can I say neither? Can I really say neither? The thing with North Melbourne is that we're so dependent on players' form to keep them in the team. That yes, Drury did well, but I could see him out of the team next week or in 2 weeks. Yes, Biggie did great, but we've got a couple of players coming back in the back line, depending on what happens with Callan Dawson as well. And these are players that I probably wouldn't go early on. You 100% have to wait for team sheets. I don't think either of them get dropped this week. But I could really see a situation where you don't, you pick them up, and then in 2 weeks it ends up being like a Lazaro. You know what I mean? Where it's in and out, maybe they play. Oh, Drury's the sub this week. I don't think they'll make Biggie the sub, but the defense has a couple of players that are moving around in the position. So I would say neither. I think next week's a perfect time to actually double downgrade because you've got guys like Petrarca and that are still going to lose a little bit of money. And then after that is when you want these big guys in. So you really could double downgrade next week. Do a boost this week, get a player in, double downgrade next week, and then just ride the wave.
I'm trying to look to see what we're looking at with
Dawson.
Yeah, what's happening with Dawson, mate?
Might be in news. Have a look.
What's happening
There's
with
like
Dawson?
a section that says like injuries.
Match report. Maybe it's still too early.
Yeah,
Still too early for the updated.
It was legitimately like 5 minutes before the team sheets came out. Well, not 5 minutes. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but
I think it's
was
a bit
very
early.
close to team sheets coming out when it happened. It was, training of the Friday. So we'll see.
Yep. So yeah, it's still too early for us to say.
I love both. I think Biggie Nguyen definitely should play a lot more AFL. I think Drury should start playing a bit more as well. But North Melbourne's very fluid with the players they're bringing in and out this week. So 100% I could see them playing this week and then next week being dropped. And then it's like, oh, more dead rookies on their field. So, yeah, that's all.
Because what did you end up doing? You ended up Zerha was injured. He's a forward mid. Stevenson's dropped. He's a forward. Dawson was obviously he's a defender. And Shields is probably a prime sub candidate, isn't he, for your team these days?
It's an interesting one. I think we play him or we play Greenwood, just as like a guy who's over 30 who can play out a game. So I think it's one of the two. But yeah, if Shields is played, I mean, what is he, 4-time premiership player? Clarko loves him, ex-Hawk. Like, there's a reason why we picked him up. So we'll wait and see. But yeah, I think Shields, if he's fit, comes in. Or he's close. He's around the mark.
So Biggie, I think Biggie's really the big one on everybody's mind, and because he scored really well and he played really well in defense.
Yeah.
I guess really comes down to his fighting for his spot in the side.
Mm-hmm.
He only came in because Dawson was injured. Yes. And then does he hold his spot ahead of a Pink type, for example?
Well, the thing is, right, so at the start of the season, Biggie played both preseason games, I think. And it was really a case of it was him, Pink, or Dawson that ended up playing. And obviously, Pink played the first couple of games, I think. I think Dawson played since round 1. And one of those has been injured. One's been kicked out. And now Biggie's having his chance. That's kind of what it's like.
So they're taking turns. So that means hopefully he plays again this week.
Well,
hopefully he performs really well against the Hawks. And then we get to keep him for the next week. I think you reckon he's been given an opportunity now?
You want more than 2 games played, though. Like 2 or 3
of course. Yeah. Of course. But you're sort of thinking, though, that at this point in time, he's been given an opportunity to take that spot right now?
Yeah. As right. West Coast here, North's defense is like Russian roulette at the moment. I think they're still trying to work out a plan, and that's where, like, you've seen Merkurcha be a halfback, and now he's potentially a midfielder. You know what I mean? Like, there's things moving in and out. He's a defender, Joe.
Yeah, but I love it how he also works up the ground. Like, this isn't a kid who isn't ready to play AFL. It's Joe's Supercoach career over. He's a player now who's really, like, he's played a lot of VFL for Richmond, and Richmond have a great VFL program. I know we've rated it when we got Sam Durham across to the Bombers. He was a Richmond VFL player, and these are players that are stuck in the VFL during a time of strength for Richmond where they can't break into the side. You know what I mean? So I think he's genuine quality, and we saw it on the weekend against a tough opposition where you guys got smashed. 7 marks, 19 disposals, and he took a couple of kick-ins as well, which I think is really handy. Taking a couple of kick-ins. Is that going to happen all the time? Look, if he's nearest to the ball, he might take a kick in here and there, but we don't really need it. As long as he continues to play well, I don't see a reason why they would automatically just drop him. I don't think, personally speaking.
No, of course. And that's where I was saying, like, there's a few players that are all pushing for the same kind of position. It was interesting to see, though, that I think his roaming kind of meant that Comben ended up being a bit more key forward and kind of went absent for periods in the game on the weekend. So Comben's scoring just wasn't that great because of that situation happening. Yeah, he's key forward size. We brought him in for opportunity, really. The athleticism's definitely there. The body size, the frame probably needs to put a little bit more I've taken a photo or two with him at the family day, and yeah, just kind of tall, lanky type, but he'll get there, I think.
Shaq!
Oh, Shacky, what are you
Shaq,
doing, Shaq?
what are you doing? Bro, you gotta take this home to your son, mate. You gotta take it to Shaq Jr. Oh, but much love, bro. You didn't have to do that, man. You're an absolute legend, Shaq. Mate,
Wait.
I used you as an authority in my team review video. I'm bad at Supercoach because I don't have you giving me all the tips all the time, bro. I need you in my corner, man. I
That's why.
need you in my... Oh, Shaq, you're an absolute legend, bro. Honestly, thank you so much. You absolutely
Shaq,
did
mate.
not have to do that. The Shaq attack. The Shaq. Bro, we need you to come back on, bro. We tried to record a video, Shaq. We tried to record a video together and the internet was just so bad. It was just a potato. We need you to come on so we can properly have our discussion about the grounds and the weather. You are my meteorologist. Stuff Jane Bun. Stuff Jane and her buns. We need Shaq, bro. It's all about Shaq. Oh, much love, guys. Oh, man, that's unbelievable. Hold your ghost. How's it going? Jono, how's it going? Kevin, Kai, love
What's
it
up,
all.
everybody?
Everybody's in.
Thanks
Blues
for coming
fan,
on.
gone by. This week could not come quick enough. I hear you, Blues fan. I finally have a week off where I don't see Max Gorn killing me.
I almost feel like
it
was like Heaney last week. I almost feel like getting a really good VC and then just putting Max Gorn captain. I feel like Max Gorn captain did well for me this week. I haven't looked at the matchups, but it'd be pretty funny to do something like that.
Oh my god. Hectic Glover, how are you, Habibi? I am very good, bro. We won. What are you kidding me? Played well, upset that Carlton lost. Unfortunate. Yeah. Scored 19.99 this week. Pretty simple trades. McKercher to Will Graham and Sexton to Comben.
Yeah, it's one to watch. I think Comben, the pick's okay. There's just a bit of a question mark about what's happening with North Melbourne itself. And then a lot of people are like it, maybe going early on a big in Ewan or a few of these other players who aren't 230K, which is the real question. Like at this point, rounds 5 heading into round 6, 230K is kind of important, right? You have to have that kind of money around. I'd rather have the extra 100K potentially with going down to a 123K rookie. The scoring might not be there. The job security is a bit shakier, but there are a couple of options at 123K that, you know, it ends up being a bit of one. I think at the moment as well, McKercher isn't, if that's what you're looking for, Joe, McKercher isn't injured. So he's been cleared of anything bad happening with his ribs. He just got subbed out due to soreness. So, I mean, he's a first-year player, right? He got kind of crunched. So I doubt they're going to be super hard on him.
Oh, my God. What is going on right now? DB!
What's up, DB?
Freaking the real DB 95. How's it going? I got Tom Green, Bont, and Tim English. How's season over? Is my season over? Love your work.
How? Oh, it's not over. There's a lot of people, at least like Tim English, right? I think Joe's got all 3, so it kind of hurts.
Yes, I do.
But outside of English, like majority of us have Bont and Green, and I'm hoping that Tom Green can kind of bounce back. So, yeah, it's tough, but yeah, we will survive, as they say. I think English will be fine. Mate. He'll just be cheaper for everyone else. And you took a bit of a hit this week. Oh, well, rebuild and keep going.
Look, it's not completely season over, DB. We just need Bevo to get sacked. Bevo gets sacked. Tim English becomes sole ruck. Darcy plays pure forward. And freaking Norton plays in defense. All we need is for Bevo to get sacked. So if everyone can buy a Western Bulldogs membership and then send petitions to the board asking for him to get sacked, then our Supercoach season might be resuscitated, DB. We need BHP to start sending us some money.
Yeah.
I don't know how else we're going to save our season at this point, though, DB. We need them to turn around, bro.
You'll be fine. You're only ranked 30,000.
It's gotten to the point. I know, Harry. I know. Sam Darcy is a legit freak of nature, bro. He's unbelievable.
He's very, very good in the forward line. And it's something that Joe and I were talking about off air as well. Just how potent this forward line is for the Dogs and how many tools they've got in there too. They cover one, they cover the other one. They can't cover all three. Not many teams run three good tall defenders. And yeah, Sam Darcy's a freak. I think he's going to be dominating, and they're talking about it too. Some people have said rising star, but I'm not sure.
You know who else is a freak? It is. I don't really like cheese.
Oh my god, cheese, mate. I think everyone's hit the crypto today, Joe. I don't know what's going. Maybe someone did some good bets or something's happening. But yeah, thank you very much, guys.
Mate, Elliot Yo, M1, D1, yep. R1 as well. He can't get triple PP.
R1, but he's getting to the point where I think he could end up being, if he stays fit the whole season. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, don't pick Tim English last year, right? Oh, he's got issues. Maybe he can't play the whole season." I have a feeling this is a big call. Elliot Yo and McGovern are going to play the full season, and people are going to be punished for not picking both. Now, McGovern last week was a bit of a different Joe, but people are getting punished for no Elliot Yo. And this guy was 440k. It's going to be a rough one, I think.
Oh, obviously, but yeah, it's fine. Great spit. I think Tim English can't even get one hit out. Mate, it's against the formidable duo of Draper and Goldie, bro. That's a tough combination right there. Velo, imagine having Bont, Green, English, McCurcher, and Sanders all on field. I don't know. It's pretty hard for me to imagine at this point, Velo. It's pretty hard for me to imagine such a thing. I don't know. Norton would ace it as a centre-half back. That's why I'm saying it. Hashtag sack Bevo. I love it. I love it, guys.
We'll wait and see.
Hashtag sack Bevo. Yes, 100%. Blues fan, Joe, everyone is giving you money so you can afford Gorn. Oh, no. Blues fan, you're rubbing it in even more, bro. You are rubbing it in even more. It's pretty funny. Oh, no, Velo. Gorn still loves you. I don't know if he does, Velo, but I love you. Thank you so much for the 5. You did not have to do that, brother, honestly. And Travi as well. Travis. 299. Ever Yonabet on Ieg Lesat. All right. It is clearly code. This is code. Far out. On a Monday night, we have to crack the code now. Come on, help me, Big J. Something about $4. Ever bet on
what's EAG?
Age? It's got to be age. Everyone bet on Eagles. Thank you, G Money. There you
go. That's the cash in versus them versus Richmond, I think.
Why did you have to do it in code, Travis? So that only a select few people can get on the bet. And now the odds are going to go up. Now the odds are going to go down.
It's all right. Just make it happen.
Oh, my God. These comments have been coming in so thick and fast. I'm just got to crawling up all over the place. G Money. How's it going, brother? Mate, my Supercoach team is a shambles. Oh, well, let's just stick to footy tipping. Oh, that stuff as well. Bro, it's
not that bad. One of the biggest things as well is, like, this week was a tough one. I think I got 5 out of 9, but it was a good 5. Like, if you pick West Coast, I think you can go on your high horse and say, hey, picked West Coast this week. There are a few games. I didn't pick the Bombers. Which other games did I pick? Let me just quickly check. There were a few there.
Whoops.
This week.
Not that one.
I think I had picked Melbourne against the Lions. Didn't pick the Bombers. Got the Saints. Didn't go Adelaide versus Carlton. I thought Carlton had them. And then I picked the rest. Yep. So, yeah, it was a tough week, really. Don't be too hard on yourself about tips.
Correct. Johnny, how's it going, John? Do I get Marshall in now or wait until round 8 for English? I don't know if you even want English at this point, bro.
Yeah, I really think you want to try and grab Marshall. He's cheap. He should drop a little bit in money still or be around the mark. And Joe was having a look at a lot of Marshall's run at
Yeah.
Marvel Stadium. He's doing pretty well. Like the next, 18 of 26 games or whatever are all at Marvel Stadium, and he does well there. So,
Yeah, he's breaking
yeah.
78, and he's
Yeah.
got English, and both, I'm pretty sure, both Goldie and Draper went over 90 last week against him. When you got two Ruckman, I am not a robot. Since when does I'm not a robot pop up on fan footy? Is that a normal thing?
I haven't had it before, but you don't have ad block, so
So if we come here, yeah, I don't have ad block. I'm
Yeah.
Povo that like that.
Bro, it's
And we
free.
go to see Draper 91 and Goldstein 98.
There
So
you go.
wait a second. What did English score again? 58. Yeah, that's disgusting. So yeah, get on Marshall, bro. Get on Rowan Marshall. Low break even. He's essentially bottomed out. He's up
Yeah.
against English. He's had a great. It was against Essendon, where we are pretty good at restricting, as you can tell, with English. And so he's gone bananas, and he's got a great Marvel run. I'm going to hide your comment just for a little bit. He's got, obviously, this week, North, Freo. He's got a lot. And then look at that. Hardly ever leaves Marvel Stadium. So I think you go with Rowan, brother. And I was really hyping him up last week as well. So go on, jump on Rowan.
And then you've got guys like Jacob here who are like, do I hold on? Of course you hold on to English. Like, he'll be okay. Yeah. It's more just, hey, look, I'm maybe not a Meek, but upgrading other players to him. 100% make it happen. I think he's a better pick, and just the price as well.
I think with English, we're going to have to hope that he really bounces back pretty soon, because he's got Rowan this week, and then he's got Darcy next week, and then Meek. You know, it's tough, but we've picked him for a reason, and now isn't the time to be sidewaysing premiums. We're getting into upgrade season, and the trades that you're using on sidewaysing premiums, that's one trade down that other people have got on you that they're putting towards upgrading their team. And at the moment, to get to Gorn, you're gonna have to fork out how much extra to get to Gorn. I know you guys are sending me money.
696.
Yeah,
696 at the moment.
So you need 50k. You have to put 50k onto English to get to Gorn. And that's money that you're probably looking to try and get Uber premiums in. So for me, I think we're just going to have to hold him. All of us who traded him in, all of us who started him, we're just going to have to hold on to English and hope that he can start to speak English properly. Travis, stop sending us money, brother. Thank you so much. He tipped 7 out of 8 last weekend. Very, very impressive. I would find it hilarious if the one tip you got wrong, Travis, was the Brisbane Lions tip, because you keep telling me how much I hate Brisbane. I promise I don't hate Brisbane. I really don't, man. But thank you so much again for the dono. You absolutely didn't have to do so. Tommy, cracked the 2K. Well done, brother.
Nice
McKercher and
Tommy.
Clark. To Graham and Comben. Love the weekly live streams. Bro, we love it too, man. Honestly, talking to you guys is an absolute dream.
It's a lot of fun, and I think we'll go through the games potentially, but just talking shit too. Like, these live streams have just make your start of your weekend pretty exciting.
It's mostly the shit from me, though. Most of the shit comes from me, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, like, one of us will do well, and then the other one will do well, and then one of us will not start Gorn, and then everyone will talk shit about them. So that's just how it is at the moment, unfortunately. I'm sure I'm going to run out of trades by round 16, and you're going to be like, oh, how's Jack McRae in your forward line doing?
And yes, Kai, that's right. Guys, if you haven't subbed to Kai Broom, head on over and sub to him. That is true. I know there's a lot of people that were saying that Yo was going to get suspended for that. I didn't see anything in it. I thought it was one continuous motion. I didn't see his head hit the ground either. So fair enough, free kick for dangerous tackle, but I didn't think that it should have warranted a suspension. So I think common sense prevailed there. So for all of you Elliot Yeo owners, living life to the fullest, you are.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I think Zach Butters was very, very lucky not to not to get pinged more than anyone else, really.
Oh, there was a footage. I'm pretty sure. I think it was David King. Who
there were some definite like slowed down images that were just like Butters was there, the other guy's hands were getting close, and then Butters like gave him a bit of a swish, but maybe he tried to like twerk on him or something, and then just didn't work out. So
I don't know. For every time I'm trying to find a clip that I know I saw before. Oh, there you go. How is that not hitting the head? Like that's clearly hit the head there. Or am I blind?
Yeah. I think if Butters' hands were on the ball or something, I think it would be like he obviously just missed it, but it's still like a hip to the head. It's a tough one.
You can see the impact of it. Oh, they even give us a nice slow-mo replay, and you see the
sweat like fly off his head. Done.
I don't even know how this didn't get suspended, but this got away with it. But Crouch, I know he's contesting the footy, but I thought Crouch was also contesting the footy as well.
Maybe Port Adelaide like has good lawyers. Who knows?
Oh my God, Velo, what are you doing, brother? Come on. Oh, huge thank you for talking me into trading Kobe over Ware last week, Master Stroke. Look, anytime.
I think I did the wrong one.
I listened to myself.
I kept McKercher and then traded Massimo, and obviously that didn't work out that well, did it?
Yeah, exactly. Man. I don't even see him touch the footy either, Travis. You're correct. No. I don't even see...
He goes straight over the top.
Yeah. He tried to go for it, missed it, and then collects him. Whereas I want to see Crouch. Matt Crouch. I don't know. Hopefully we can see it. I haven't seen any footage. Matt Crouch has been suspended. So he's gone over the footy. Like, the footy's there. It's there to be won.
Yep.
He's collected him on the way through. Nope.
Yeah. No. I would say that's a bit more intentional. He led with he intentionally went for the bump. It wasn't like Crouch came in forward and was trying to get the ball. That was intentional. Like, hey, I'm going to bump you.
Yeah. I think that's the ultimately, I think that's the big difference. It was the Butters one was simultaneous with reaching for the ball, whereas with this one, it was the bump and then get the ball. Yeah. Jeez, we're getting into really
tough, man.
Minute area here.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going on at the moment. Just weird positioning and things like that are obviously making a huge difference in terms of us in Supercoach, but also just rulings. Like, it sucks being an umpire on field, but imagine if you had to go through and kind of MRO all this stuff. It's
Yeah, I agree with this comment as well, with Velo's comment from before. I think they are both suspendable offences, I think. Considering, not because I necessarily think it was wrong of what Butters did, because obviously it's a contact sport. You guys know me by now. I was obviously really upset about, 2 Meter Peter getting suspended.
No.
But the thing is, like, it's all about duty of care now, and it's all about reducing hits to the head. And so if you've ended up in a situation where you've got two people turning their bodies and hitting and making head-high contact, it's like the AFL has made a rod for its own back. And now, for consistency's sake, we are now asking the AFL to suspend players for things that we normally might not want them to be suspended for, but just simply for fairness and the fact that you dealt with this player in this way, therefore you must deal with this player in the exact same way. So I feel like we're at a point now where we are almost demanding players to get suspended for otherwise non-suspendable offenses, but just because others before it. So it's a can of worms that the AFL has really opened up, I think, for itself. And now all of us are talking about it. And now you've got two very similar situations where one gets suspended and one doesn't. So I don't know. It's pretty tight. It's pretty tight. But I should have been suspended because he's my most consistent mid-primo. Yeah, it's very objective, Bank Banner content.
Yeah.
Very objective.
Yeah. I think the AFL, a lot of people are saying here, okay, we're turning into soccer, things like that. But I think a lot of it is as well, the AFL's trying to stamp out like sniping of other players. Now, Crouch might have not gotten into the best player, but if you let that happen, then other things happen, and CTE and just concussions in general. We've already seen what 3 players happen to. 100% Murphy is probably going to come in and then retire mid-year, so Collingwood get another good player in the mid-season draft. It's a real tough one.
Yeah. Look, I totally I understand where you're coming from, and he actually opens himself up for reaching for the ball. I totally get that. Yeah, and ultimately that's the real difference between this Crouch one and the Butters one. The Butters one, it was in the act of picking the ball up, but this one, you can say he's clearly gone for the bump first to allow himself to get onto the football. So this was a 2-step. He's clearly led in, arm tucked in this case as well. So this is actually very dangerous. He's actually, looking at it now, he is very lucky that he's only got 1 week for this. Drove in hard, high contact, arms tucked, and kills him. Like, he is very lucky to have only gotten 1, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He should have got more than 1. Meanwhile, 2-meter Peter gets freaking a gazillion weeks. Sounds so stupid.
4 weeks for Peter. Hey, at least you guys can win without him being in the team. I think that's probably a big thing. A few of your younger players, even Harry Jones, kind of stepping up as well.
Both should have got off. Both the football acts. Stop with the rule changes that are changing our game.
Oh, it's a tough one, man. It's a tough one.
I mean, I get it. It's good to be tough over the football, but in this case, it was done wrongly, I'd say, Steve, because he's led in with the full intention of cleaning him up, and it was really risky because rather than getting him, if this was a side-on bump, we'd be loving it. We would be loving it if it was a side-on bump, side on side, then that's excellent. That's what we love to see when it comes to a great hip and shoulder. But this one, he's gone hip and shoulder on his head, on his neck.
Yeah.
And that's really tough. That one, I think, is inexcusable. That one, you're really subjecting the opposition to a real risk of injury. So for me, I'm more willing to accept the Butters one as an accident, but this one, it's not. This was a poorly executed bump, whereas the Butters one, I think, having seen it now in slow motion, I still think that the Butters one is probably more of an accident as opposed to this one. Butters not suspended. AFL changed the rules because they feel sorry for him. Shaq, you're just upset that you don't own Butters at this point, I think. I think you faded him, right?
Shaq, why is this season over? No Butters, mate.
Velo, 2-meter Peter got 10 weeks, 2 for the act, and 8 for playing for Essendon. He got 0 for the act and 4 for playing for Essendon. There you go.
You just need better lawyers, Joe. That's all it is. Get some better lawyers.
The Carlton lawyers.
Mate, Carlton's player got hit and then Crouch got suspended. It's against
It's confirmed. It's confirmed.
Done. Just need good lawyers.
Dumb. It's dumb that it's still outcome-based. Needs to change. And hopefully, 100%, Kai. 100%. I can understand where they're coming from when it comes to you're looking at the result to try and ascertain the severity of the outcome. Is it severe impact? Is it light impact? Is it medium impact? And so the easiest thing to do is to go and look at the outcome and then just go from there. But I agree. You should be trying to stamp out the action as opposed to the results. And unfortunately, as much as I would love to, Velo, they're not going to give me the time of day. They're not going to give me the time of day. So it is what it is. Shit, don't say it is what it is. That's really bad. Borrow the Carlton legal team. Yes, we should. And it's getting rewarded for poor technique going headfirst into contests.
Yeah,
it's not really a reward, Jamon, if they're getting cleaned up. Like I don't think Jack Carroll considers this a reward. Yes, he got the free kick, but like I'm pretty sure he'd love to have his time again and not go through that. So
probably not.
This is the problem with our game. Our rules too open to interpretation, as we can see the differences in opinion today. Make the rules clearer, and this all stops. Yes, 100%, bro, 100%. And that's the problem that we have, and that's why every single week we're going to have an issue with people complaining that the umpires robbed them. The umpires had it against them. We got, because it's all these things.
I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I made this. It's Joe versus the Emma. So I know we'll keep this going, but let me know what you guys think. It totally fits for today. Like,
I was not expecting that to come on there, but yes, it's going to be Joe versus. We can have a Joe versus MRO segment if you guys want it. We can have a video or as part of the stream, however you like it, where we look at the suspensions, we look at the bumps, and we get an objective look at things. Now, if it's Essendon, I won't talk about it because, as you know, I think Peter Wright shouldn't have been suspended. But if you want this to happen, we can make it happen. All right, Velo likes it. All right, Velo likes it. Matthew likes it. No, Matthew Matthew loves it. So that's really good. Steve, Joel Sellard was the worst at going in head first, and then only once he retired, we go hard on these changes to the game.
Well, you say that with Selwood, right? I think it was more like Brayshaw being out, which really, really hurt a lot. Like we'd had previous to that, you had I don't think it was what's his face? GWS player used to tag all the time. You had Jacobs from North Melbourne as well. Matt DeBoer, I think he had concussion issues for a bit. I think Ben Jacobs had it. All these guys that would go in there head first and come in and start, tackling and whatnot. They were the ones that a few years later you found out, hey, CT. I guarantee Joel Selwood's got some form of concussion issues as well. So, you don't want these guys retiring at 30 and they can't put two sentences together.
All right. We might do it. We might do Joe versus MRO. Cap it. It will be capped. It will be a short one. Just the short, or just the major ones. We'll do it. We'll do it from now on. Hoops, Joe, we did it. The bot domination ended. It
Congratulations.
did. Congratulations. It ended. It ended in a very shocking way. Unfortunately, he was my VC. If there was a week to do it, wasn't meant to be this week, but hey, we take it. Our team won, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah. I just want to say too, congratulations to all the people that went and faded a Dacos, faded a Bont, didn't fade Gorn, but faded those two. It's ended up working out okay for you, I think. You think, like, what is that, $1.4 million around that mark? You could have got 3 really good players or 2 other good players, and you're going to grab both of those pretty cheap at this point. So, yeah, congratulations, guys. It's always like a 50-50 call, which one you like, which one you don't like. But obviously, Dacos has dropped already 50K and probably is going to drop a tiny bit more. And then Bont's on the way down as well. So, yeah.
He's dropped 83K.
Yeah. Bont's already dropped 60 and it's got a 165 break even as well. So, yeah.
Squeak.
Nice
ranked
work, Squeak.
365.
Nice.
Unbelievable. 30 trades and 2 boosts left. Or was that no boost left? Named Mr.
No, I think
Moon.
it's like two boosts left.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was afraid that you had no boosts left, Squeak, but that's very, very impressive, mate. He's on fire. Congratulations, man. You're smashing it. Absolutely smashing it. What does Walsh have to do this week for us to get him next week at 576k?
Very well. I think it's probably the big thing. If Walsh comes out and scores like another 100 plus, I think he definitely comes into considerations. There's a few players around this price as well where you could go like, maybe you've kept McKercher, you've got Sanders. You could even go Roberts and like a Sanders up to a Sam Walsh and like a rookie, I think would be a really good pickup. So, yeah, just one to wait and see. But as Joe says, 13 tackles isn't going to happen that often.
He's supposed to have back problems, and he's got 13 tackles, mate. If he bounces back, if he continues this next week, and the Giants are a pretty good matchup, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, all right, they're ranked 8. If he goes over 100 again, then yes, get him in your team. Yep. I know there's risk to his back getting re-injured, but if he goes 100 plus again this week, I think this kid's a steal. We were all looking at him all preseason long at that price. We were talking about him in the preseason, given his insane end to the season last year. He was the player of the finals series with the way he was dominating. So I honestly reckon if he gives us anything over 100 and he looks really good, then you got to get him in. So this was him in the finals. There's 3 games in the finals. He went 122. Obviously, he was subbed out in this game. And so in his last 5, he went 113. So he's going to be a pod, I think, because there's going to be a lot of people, rightfully so, concerned about re-injuring his back. Backs can be really difficult. But if he goes big again this week, and he was right to go from earlier in the season, they were just simply delaying to make sure that he was 100% fit, then I reckon we full send on this guy, especially for those of us who aren't high up in the rankings and looking to try and leapfrog some people
you need some
and maybe avoid trading in someone who's, around 100k more expensive than him. Then I think he presents value at that price point. So for those of us, we should look to get him in. I'm pretty sure someone's even added a little here. Walsh will go 125, 140, 135 next 3 weeks. No back issues as he had surgery to fix it.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yep, 100%. I'm really keen to watch him. Travis has kept 199k in the bank to get Walsh in.
Nice, Travis. That's the way to go, man. I think this week really opens up a lot of opportunities. If you got like a Matt Rao in this week and you have some money left over, trading 2 players in for Walsh is not like the worst thing you can do, especially next week having DPP. I know a lot of us have a Massimo, have a Zach Williams and a few of these other players around, and maybe a Dacos in the mids or a Nick Martin or a Roberts if you want to swing them back. So it's almost, I hate it, right? But it almost feels like it's too late to grab these 650k primos in the midfield when there's a lot of opportunity left, like a Sam Walsh. And he will be a pod. Next week, 100%, he'll be a pod. People won't pick him up. They'll go after these other guys. Maybe there'll be some other players around. You can swap 2 players and get Sam Walsh next week. Probably would be happy.
Oh, yeah. My God. Look how many people have traded him in. Exactly. Dan Frio Tragic, how's it going, my man, my friend? How you doing? 12k, 11,000 people have traded in Sammy Walsh this week. Very impressive. Very impressive. So someone's asking, why would you trade him in if he's going to go up in price? Really? He's going to go up in price? No, he's not. He's only played 1 game.
Yeah.
You get him in after next week. You look at him again. You see how he goes.
3 weeks, guys. Come on.
Yeah, you get 3 games, brother. He's not up in price just yet.
Me too, Luke. I feel I'm not happy about trading him out. It sucks. And it really sucks because I brought in Nick Martin. As much as I hate it, I brought in Nick Martin. And Nick Martin scored like 6 points left. Sorry, 6 points less. So, yeah, it's not the best, but it is what it is, and we move on.
He can say it is what it is, but I want you guys to hold me to account. I don't want to keep saying that. It's not good to have repeated mannerisms. So yes, I
You
shall
can't take it
do
back.
my best.
No time machines in Supercoach. So
I think LDU scoring crap hoops because of the points sharing in that midfield. I think.
I don't know if it's
Also,
that much.
also
Sure.
Sherry is a good clearance ruckman as well. A lot of the ball that LDU has been getting, I feel, has been on the outside more so than on the inside. I think Wardlaw has been the main wrecking ball inside. Simpkins been doing some good work inside as well. Yeah, LDU's just been really depressing for all of the owners out there. He has not given you a return on investment, and I'm really sorry. I really thought that this week was going to be the week that he would bounce back and give you a really good score, considering the matchup against the Cats, who have been giving up some points to midfielders. Only went 87, which is that's just no good. He's already lost. He's lost so much money. He's lost over 100K on your starting investment.
Yeah. Well, it's a little bit like Jordan Dawson, right? Both have lost a lot of money. I guess LDU's a real different one because of the LDU's a super barometer. When the team's doing okay, LDU does well. But when we're just getting beaten in the clearance game, and then he just doesn't get any of the ball, I think Wardlaw does affect him a bit. But some of the kicks on the weekend as well, he was dropping them too short. Just not like it just didn't look great. And yeah, obviously the scoring just wasn't there, Joe. But if the forwards aren't marking his balls, that's lost points for him. That's clangers for him as well. So an 87 off that's not terrible. But look at the clangers. He had 2 frees against and then 9 clangers because the members in his team just aren't like some of those will be turnovers 100%. But his teammates just aren't marking it or his kicks just aren't great or the delivery there isn't there. So he would have popped out probably a 110, 120, and you would have been happy. But yeah, I think as the team gets better, his scoring hopefully should go up. But yeah, it's a rough one.
If you still own him, you just got to keep holding him.
Look at the score difference as well. Yeah, 80 points.
Yeah, that's a shocking ratio.
What's North Melbourne's midfield going to do against 80 points? Our best player was a guy that plays halfback and was taking kick-ins. Like, really?
Colin's asking you, Big J, is LDU a barometer or a front runner?
When the team does well, LDU does well. So whenever the team is doing poorly, LDU's scoring isn't just there. I think like a Jack Steele and a few of these other players, I think maybe because of the age and just maturity themselves, will get decent scores in Supercoach even when the team doesn't do well. But yeah, LDU, I think just, I don't know. It's a weird one. And that's why you jumped off, Joe.
Thank God. Thank God I jumped off him before
he's going to be
plummeted in price.
He's going to be cheap. Him and Clayton Oliver, they're around 500K. Imagine if he had said at the start of the season, cool, Jordan Dawson, sub 500K. Next week, he'll be under 500. Boy, oh boy.
But he's got the Bombers this week. I don't know if we're going to send someone to him. I know we sent Durham to Bond, and we sent Caldwell to Libba. Now, Dawson isn't a Libba type. Dawson's more of a Bont type. So I wouldn't say it could possibly be a head-to-head with Sammy Durham this week. Bont didn't look right last week, so I'm not entirely sure if we're going to have that same of an output from Durham and killing a Dawson type. Plus, we're playing away. It's not like we're playing at home at Marvel where we love to play. So it's possible that this could be the week where there is no Matt Crouch. We sort of already spoken about that suspension, that he's lucky. But no Matt Crouch this week. And we've seen, whether this is causation or just simply correlation, with Matt Crouch in the team, Dawson just isn't scoring well. So when has Crouch came into the season from round 19 onwards. All right, so we're going to go to Dawson, and we'll look at Jordan Dawson from round 19 of last year. There is a noticeable difference in the scoring. So before round 19, from all the way, what was he averaging before Dawson, before Crouch came in? He was averaging 117.8, okay? In 17 games, 117. And then round 19, Crouch comes in, and ever since, he's now averaged 97.
And now he's averaging
Crouch
worse.
has come into the team.
And now he's averaging worse as well. And that's with a few other players coming through. And unfortunately, Dawson's the one that takes the hit when Adelaide want to change and they want to get better, and they start putting guys like Rankin through the middle and getting bulk minutes through those positions. Dawson's the one that gets pushed out. We thought it was going to be Laird. The whole talk of the preseason was Laird is playing forward. He's going to take one for the team, do really well. Dawson, he's the one that's really suffered. So it sucks. It really does. For those people that have held, it sucks. You don't even know if you want to get him at all. At some point, maybe you pick up Dawson at 350k just for fun as a DPP swing. But yeah,
he's gonna go big this week. Blacks, he'll go big this week without Crouch.
He needs to
at home against the Bombers. He could go big. They got their dub. They got their win last week. They're up and about. Sometimes all it takes is like the same way in footy in a game. All it takes is one goal to start to turn momentum the other way. Maybe with the Crows, it just needs a win. And it was a big win away from home against a big club opposition in Carlton. So it's possible that Dawson could give you a nice little bounce back game, Blacks. I like the Asaka profile picture as well. But we got here, Track will be the one to target. Take advantage of that one poor score and get him under 600k.
Oh, it's not happening. Unfortunately, Matthew, if you pull up Track's next run, Joe, I think everyone that's looking at getting Track at sub 600k, I just don't think it's going to happen. Track has almost every game after this at MCG, and Track at MCG does very, very well. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to get Track much cheaper than what we've got at the moment. So,
I think even more importantly, it's the matchup that he's got as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like, you want a bounce back game, midfielders versus Richmond. Come on, fellas.
Mate, we saw what happened to Richmond last week. He's
scoring a lot more than a 112 next week, I'll tell you what.
Exactly. So, yeah that's the problem, Matt.
Yeah.
That 156 break even might not be enough to keep him down.
It sucks. It sucks so much.
Oh, it's annoying. Sorry, T, LDU, and Dawson. Just rough, bro.
It's tough.
That's
that's where we look at T and saying LDU and Dawson, right? That's where starting picks that aren't pods sometimes works out better, because when Bont has a hit, majority of the team have Bont. When Butters has a hit, it's the same thing. When a lot of people have Tom Green, it's the same thing as well. So, yeah. Did I trade Tom Powell? Not yet. And I think I've just covered him in, and that 98 came at a good time. So, Powell is still in my team, but it is a watch and see. If I can do stuff and then get Powell back in later, maybe I'll do that. But at the moment, he's currently in the side. This week was the real barometer, was the real testing point for me. If Tom Powell looked like how he was going in the first quarter and he ended up scoring like a 50 or a 60, then 100% he was on the outer this week. He didn't. 98, very happy.
Yep. Yeah, Clary's going to be really juicy as well. He hasn't been scoring great.
400k for Clayton. Clayton, 400k.
Back-to-back 60s.
What's his
break even is 158, mate.
Ooh. He's one that could jump up against Richmond as well.
He could. If he scores an 80, bro, since when is Clayton Oliver projected 82s and 84s and 75s?
Never happened. And some people in the chat were saying as well, Clayton Oliver was ended up playing half back for a while there, Joe.
Really?
Yep. In the game on the weekend, he was definitely at half back for a while. Some people are saying, hey, look, will he get half back? I'm like, nah, he's not going to get DPP as a backman, but he definitely was playing in the back line for a while. Look at that green. Look at the green. Clayton Oliver, backline player in the team. It's a bit of a change. Like, if they really need a tackling machine in there, potentially he roams with like a Rivers, but yeah, I just don't see it happening. He won't be getting DPP.
Yeah, don't put your hopes on it. Don't put your eggs in that basket. But if it happens, that would be glorious. I'm still looking to get him in at some point. I know that hand is causing him a lot of issues, and I'm pretty sure he's going off for surgery. There you go. Sim said it. He won't play versus Richmond. There you go. Jack's telling us he's going to miss. Bella's going to say he's going to miss.
So Clayton Oliver, so Petrarca is even more of a you must have Petrarca next week, because Petrarca without Oliver, we know how good the scoring is. And now he's playing Richmond, which is a favourable matchup, and no Clary in the midfield. Like, if this guy isn't going 150 next week, I don't know who is. I'll tell you what. They've really got to put a lot of focus into him. Maybe a Hopper comes back and takes away some of his scoring. But Petrarca against worst teams midfield, mate. Ooh, it's not fun.
Why is it his bye this week? Bloody hell. If it was not his bye, he would have played with that really high 156 break even, maybe dropped in price a little bit and got him in.
You needed him a bit cheaper, to be honest.
Look, he's 623. That's not too dissimilar to Jack Steele at the moment, isn't it? Put the poker button. He was too busy at the slots machine, Dan. No, he's got a 1 week hamstring. He's got a 1 week problem, maybe, perhaps. Yeah. But yeah, Jack Steele is a 624K. You know what I mean? So he's at Jack Steele price now. In fact, Jack Steele is more expensive than Christian Petrarca. That is crazy, bro. So could get him next week. I think next week is my final boost time to get in Petrarca. I'm going to evacuate. How do we get Merritt, Track, and Walsh next week?
Yeah, that's kind of the tricky thing, right? You just can't. So you pick one. I think Merritt's the one you don't get in. If you had to pick, I think Track's the one you do have to get in. And maybe you pay 20 points and then I reckon there's potential to get 2 in some people's teams. I don't see how you can get 3. It's just not going to happen.
You can't get all 3 of them this week. No, there's no way. It's impossible. Unless you just spend 3 trades sidewaysing.
Track, well, yeah, you can sideways. That's fine. I think Track's the way to go, though. Track, if I had to rank them, it would be Track, Walsh, and then Merritt, I think. Merritt's staying around his price, which means the scoring's going to be there, but it means that there's no opportunity, really. Like, Petrarca's next run of teams is very, very good. So, yeah.
I think our hopes and dreams all rest on Berry tagging Merritt this week, because I know Berry went with Petrarca last week. So if Nix wants to win this game, he needs to shut down Zach Merritt, and to shut down Zach Merritt, you need to tag him. So hopefully we get a tag purely out of a Supercoach perspective. Obviously, as a bomber, I don't want him tagged. But as a Supercoach person, we want Merritt to get tagged this week and hopefully not hit that 135, increase the break even. He's projected a 141. That's just ridiculous, man.
Yep. It's pretty good.
It's not going to happen, surely, at Adelaide Oval. But the thing is, Adelaide are conceding a lot of points to mid. So, look, hopefully he gets tagged. And if he gets tagged, we can get him a little bit cheaper. But I think we might have to prioritize getting Track. As crazy as that is, but he's just going to be your captain this week. He's going to be your captain that week, coming off his bye against Richmond. Oh, he went 141 on them last year, and they were stronger then. Yeah, no, it's got to be Track,
If you don't have the Tracker that week, just don't watch football, unfortunately. He's a good vice-captain option playing on the Wednesday, Joe. Next week, we have a Sunday and then a Wednesday. What is this nonsense? Like, I understand Anzac Day and everything. Like, they've got to put footy on then. But a Wednesday? Come on.
Yeah, bro, he needs one dud game. Unfortunately, he's just too good, Aussie abroad. It's ridiculous, bro. Harry, should I trade out Merritt? Is he bad? Wow. Really, Harry? You're going to rub it in like that, are you? Nice. I love it. Don't you dare trade out. Do I trade Libba? Nah, it's just a 1 week West Coast Eagles rule. You don't trade out. You don't trade out 1 week injuries.
His 12 days isn't like overlapping too much, is it? Let me quickly pull up.
Is it?
I don't know. Like sometimes it could be longer. You know how sometimes it covers 2 weeks. So they play. So let's say the next day. So April 13th to 27. No, he should be okay. He misses 1, but he'll be touch and go for the 27th, I think, which is his second game versus Freo. So you should be okay.
Watch out for the round 14 buys, lads.
Well, that's
round 14 buys. Let's have a look.
Yeah,
so
I
if
think
we
it's
go
Melbourne, and a few of these other teams.
Yeah,
I can pull it up.
Buys. Let's open up that JPEG image that I got saved and ready to go. All right, so got the buys. The buys. Round 14. Sammy Walsh, Zach Merritt, Rowell, Flanders,
It's a tough one.
Petrarca, Gorn. Bro, I'm going to have all my midfields is going to be in round 14. Yep. And then both of my rucks are going to be in round 15.
Yep.
Season over.
Where's Shaq when you need him? I tell you what.
Season over, ladies and gentlemen. I'm stacking up here and I'm stacking up here. Let's go. We got the cop and donuts, boys.
Hey, at least you'll have a good round. You'll have a good round 13, though. Tell you what.
Oh, I hope so. I better. I better.
Just score at 2,600 that week, and then the other weeks you'll be okay.
No, not this week, OB. No trade and Track this week, bro. Off his buy, not this week. But yes, we're telling people to trade him in, but not. So realistically, when are you boys getting Zach in?
When he has enough dud games and doesn't work out that you can do it. Zach Merritt at the moment is really going to take 2 weeks worth of planning. It's not going to be hey, I've got it right, and then I can make it happen right now. Like, you could get Zach Merritt in next week. If you double downgraded, well, there you go. If you double downgraded this week, you'd have enough money to get Zach Merritt in. But it costs you 2 weeks worth of scoring. Or 2 weeks worth of cash gen to make it happen. So, yeah, Zach Merritt's tough, man. Merritt and Petrarca. I said it 2 weeks ago. I went Jack Steele. Worked out okay for me. But Merritt and Petrarca are the 2 guys you've really got to have in over the next little period of time. Their runs at home are just fantastic.
I can't believe it. I've been talking on every single platform I can get on, every single channel. I've been talking about this guy that you have to make plans to get him in. And yet I'm struggling to get him in, given the state of the team. Like, it's ridiculous. I don't even know, bro. I don't even know. But you have to get him in. After this week, I feel like you have to get him in. Because he's got Collingwood, Anzac Day will destroy. West Coast should destroy. GWS will be tough. North should destroy. Dreamtime, he's going 180, probably. Gold Coast, Carlton. West Coast again, this time at home. Geelong. They concede points to Mids. Collingwood concede. Melbourne, MCG.
The way
Adelaide.
you're getting him in is you start to spend you guys like Massimo and Zach Williams. There's a reason why some of us have gone a bit cheaper, and that's why like we've gone a bit cheaper in the back line. Got some of these guys who aren't your Tom Stewarts, who aren't your 650k players, is because we start to gear up for this. These mid prices are going to be fantastic. Yeah, exactly. Fantastic work. Zach Williams is going to equal Merritt, and then hopefully Massimo equals a Petrarca for someone. I 100% would advocate for you trading one of those guys, having some cash, and then getting rid of like a Sanders. There you go. Well, that's right, Dan. You can do that too.
Mate, what's Bont going to get suspended for 4 weeks? I can't even see Bont getting suspended for 1 week, let alone 4. What the hell what is Bont going to do? Is he going to go and start strangling Bevo? Let me go.
He's going to do a bit of a Pendlebury and love tap people.
Oh, potentially. Joey, look at his scoring for his next 3 opponents, last 3 matchups. Merritt is a freak. Bro, I know.
Yep.
I know he's a freak, bro. You telling me he's my captain? He's our captain, bro. We know who hoops. We know who Merritt is. He's a freak. He's a gun. I'd love to get him in. And last time we played at Adelaide Oval, he went 135. So he's
not bad.
I don't know, man. We need Berry to be right on the top of his game. We need a double tag. We need a double tag on Merritt to get that price down. But I don't know. I'm contemplating if I go Steele this week or if I go Merritt this week.
I might.
Those are my 2 options, I think.
My question is, do I want Matt Rowell or do I want Merritt? That's the big question for me at the moment. Matt Rowell or Merritt, which one's going to make it happen? Oh, it's tough. Let me know down in the chat. Which guys would you want? Matt Rowell or would you get Merritt? Matt Rowell is currently ranked number 1 or number 2 midfielder. Zach Merritt's pretty close, but looking at both, yeah.
Reed and Yo will smash him, Joe. Oh, bro.
He's done. We need Joe's song. Joe, you haven't done the song.
I haven't done the song because I haven't seen Maltesing in. Maltesing.
If you're here, you got to post in the chat. We got 140 people. This has probably been our biggest live stream. Like, congratulations. Thank you everyone for jumping on and saying hello and watching the stream. Maltesing, if you're here, say, hey, Joe, I'm here in the chat. Mate, Joe's got a winner for you guys right now.
Because I don't know if all you boys and girls were here last week. You probably weren't. I don't remember this many people in last week. But last week, in our drive home on the Thursday, I accidentally pressed portrait mode and not landscape. And so the stream came out scuffed. And then we had to stop the stream and then remake a new one. And Maltesing was the first person in, and he said, what's my prize for being the first one in? And I told him we'll do a song of his choice, a parody, the Stafford Brothers style, with his name in there. Now, he gave me 3 options, and I went with, you'll see it. I think you'll know what it is. You know what? Stuff it. We've got enough people in there. Maltesing, if you're not here, stuff you. This song was in your honor, and you're not here to watch it.
That's not very nice.
I don't care. I freaking put effort into this, and he's not going to be here. So you know what? Maltesing, you got to find this in the watch through again. This is my prize to Maltesing last week.
Guys. Watch out.
Don't blast me too hard. Oh, baby, baby, how was I supposed to know that something wasn't right here? Oh, baby, baby, I shouldn't have clicked portraits and stuffed up our live stream. I'm sorry, it shouldn't be portrait. Tell me, baby, I know it should be landscape. Oh, because my stuff up lost us viewers, and I must confess, technology stupidity. When we then got back online, what did we find? Maltesing was in first this time. There you go, Maltesing. Go and find it. When you come in, I'm a man of my word, and I'm not doing it again. That was so bloody hard to do. Singing kind of good. Just kind of good. Oh, no. Luke Beveridge has resigned due to burst eardrums and psychological trauma.
That was pretty good, Joe.
Mate, have the viewing audience decreased? They did, Fiddler. I shouldn't have done it, but I promised him I'd do it, and I had to do it though. It is what it is, bro. It's pretty bad, and my hair was an absolute mess. You are correct. I need to get a haircut. Look, I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to a wedding this weekend, so I'm planning a haircut probably later in the week. So yeah, it's pretty bad. Oh no, Joe, I think my phone died. Brad, how's it going, Brad? The Supercoach, bro. You came in right on time to watch me embarrass myself, but it is what it is, man.
We need the Stafford brothers to come on. Maybe you guys can do like a collab.
Or a hat. Needs a hat. Joe, stop it. I'm sorry. This is scary. I know. It's pretty bad chat clip, but don't do that. When's the album drop? Mate, I need more money to come in, and then I'll consider a side hustle. Nemo, beautiful natural tenor. Did you choir as a kid? No, I did not. My mum is, though. I got it from my mama. New torture technique has been developed. You're welcome. Anytime. Oh, no, Dan. No, Dan. There are kids in here, bro. Don't do that. Ross, natural talent, got onto the voice. I'm sorry. Mass exodus in the live stream. That was class. Oh, Lukey, you always are so nice to me. Leave it to Maltesing. That was it. Oh, thanks, Cam. Much appreciated. GG. Thanks, Jono. You can sing as well as me, and I'm no good. Show your wife that. Oi, nothing is better than the GWS theme song, Michael.
He's better than the West Coast theme song, I tell you what.
Oh, that West Coast theme song is terrible. That's really bad. Joe needs to sing every week. No, I don't, Dan. Stop it, please.
Gonna happen.
Merritt way better than Steele and Rao. Rao, I want to see it happen for a few more weeks.
Yeah, but the problem is you say that, right? If we look at Matt Rao, he's had, let me quickly check. Matt Rao, 137, 155, a 99, a 129, and then a 135. How many more weeks do you need to see when his projected score is like 137s every week? At some point, he's going to be, it's like Jack Steele. The people like, oh, Jack Steele needed to see it for a few more weeks. Oh, well, now he's too expensive and you can't get him into your team. You know what I mean? Like, Matt, yeah, it's a tough one, man.
The thing is, Matthew, my trades will have to change if I want to get Merritt in over Steele. That little bit extra money means I'm going to have to trade out like a Sanders or a Roberts type. And for me, I think it's a little bit...
Sanders is getting close. Yeah. I think if
he's going to play a full game.
Well, that's it. Like, at some point, he's got to play a full game. But
it'll be this week because there's no Libba. So Riley Sanders is going to play a full game this week.
I'll just play Bevo will just be like, cool, Dale, you're playing the whole game. Sanders sub. Just to spite us.
So when he plays a full game, he's averaging 86.
Break-even's getting too close, Joe.
Sorry?
His break-even's getting too close. He's already like 46. He needs to have like another breakout game this week, and I don't know if they can do it.
He can. He's very talented. As long as he gets the game time, he'll be fine. I think. And without Libba, I think he gets the game time. What happens if he pumps out another 99, for example, or 82? You know what I mean? Like, he then re-kickstarts that cash gen, and I can see him, these are all 69s. If he goes 80 back to back, for example, this can be getting closer to 350 as opposed to his current price of 310. I'm losing 40K. 40K is a bit of money.
Mm.
So
it's also the points that you're losing on the other end as well, which is the huge problem. A lot of us might just not have the capacity to be able to do it.
Sanders will have a month. He averages 90 to 95. The kid has serious talent. He's MAF6 if we get lucky. Wow. M8?
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think that's a little bit... it's pretty tough, actually. So, Jono's asking Clark and McKercher to Comben and Graham this week.
You can do it. You can do it. Comben's a real interesting one. Comben's really interesting. I don't know if I would do the trades or not. If you're considering him as being like a potential forward keeper, or at least someone you can have for a while, then fantastic. I think he's going to play a lot. But we were saying earlier, right, there's a lot of these players who are going to be around the mark in terms of price and potentially losing like 100K on bringing in Comben. Yes, he'll go up in price. But if Comben doesn't go massive this week, that 123 or whatever it was from his first week is gone. Can we pull up Comben, Joe, and see if they've changed it around in his projections? Because he'll have a burst game now, and then after that, he's back to a 60 average or a 70 average. He's not gonna go up in price that quickly. Yeah.
No, so if he goes 76, 65, 68, 65...
He really needs to have an 80. He really needs to start putting up an 80 to a 90 average. I think if we had seen it in round 2, a little bit higher than what it was, fantastic. But it's a real gamble, Jono. It's a real gamble there.
I don't know. I think he'll play every week. I think what you get out of Comben...
I think he'll play every week as well.
Is guaranteed job security.
Yeah. It's just he's not going to make that much money. Outside of this week, I don't think he's going to make that much.
If he gives you the spike, I mean, he's already going to score roughly an 80 according to projections anyway. Yeah, I don't know. I think you can afford to fade him. Only time will tell if fading him was disastrous or not. But I think we also have to look at who else is someone that we can trade in. McAuliffe, I think, is someone that we can trade in the midfield coming off his bye. But is there anybody else? Then Biggie will be on his bubble if he plays this week, and then he's going to be named next week. So, but really, outside of them two, who else is available?
Oh, well, you got McCall. There's really no one. This week's a real tricky one. This week is almost a perfect one up, one down week because you've got Graham. If you don't have Closey, I think most people will have him by now. If you don't have these players, then it's a bit of a tricky.
I think you can probably go Comben. I know he's a bit more money, like 100K more than you would want, but he's going to play every week. He's playing in defense. They're going to get a lot of ball. I don't think the Hawks' forward line is that particularly dangerous either. So we could see some more intercepts out of him.
I think getting you in playing as well might have affected a little bit. I said earlier that I made him a bit more accountable and forced him to play a bit more key defender because Biggie is also very mobile. So, just something to consider.
Fair enough. That was actually fairly good. Kudos. Cheers, Bello. Is Cadman a trade out? He's very yes, I think he is. That's why he's in my trade plans. I think you can afford to hold him.
100% hold him.
Given his break even.
Yeah. I'm more confident holding a Cadman and waiting for a spike game than I am like a Sanders and a few of these other people. GWS, it wasn't a fantastic game for them. And I think there's going to be a few more spike games in the run. I can 100% see like a game where he comes out and scores like a 90. And then it's like, cool, cash gen, reset again for a while. Maybe not against Carlton this week, but if you have like, who's round 7? Brisbane. Okay. There's definite potential for him to come out and pop out a decent score.
He'll do well here. And I guess it depends on if we get Ridley and Reed back by then, but I don't think we will. So he could do really well come round 9, but I think you can because he's made you 140, almost 144K out of a rookie, and that's great. And if it means trading him out, using his cash to make the trades that you want, I don't see why not, personally speaking. Yes, he's a key forward, and given the position, he might have some spike games in him for sure. I just don't see it happening this week. Maybe it could, because I'm pretty sure Carlton copped some carnage in their back line this week, didn't they?
I know there's 3 players out. I know Sard's out, McGovern's out, and then someone else, I think, as well.
I'm pretty sure Carlton injury.
Yeah, they've got 3 out. There you go. So Sard and McGovern out this week. So hold on, Cadman. I'm pretty sure there's a 3rd player as well. The problem with, we'll go back to Comben for a little bit. I almost want to say go pick up my Lecky before you pick up Comben.
McKelty, not Mike Kelty.
Sorry, you know what I mean. Everyone knows.
McKelty Lefau.
Yeah, pick him up, Joe. You scared off like 20 odd people from the stream. I don't know what happened,
mate. I did it all for Maltesing, and he wasn't even here. Stuff him. Never again. Maltesing, I'm disappointed in you, bro. I put myself out on a limb for you, and you're not even here to see it.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. So Cher is out as well. Some people here in chat are saying Marchbank is back this week, so it might hurt. Cadman.
See you, Cadman. Bye, Cadman. Trade him out.
I'm going to hold him. I'm holding him.
Fair enough. If you want,
I'm waiting for a Cadman and a Dempsey to become someone like a Dane Zorko and like a rookie over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, nah. I don't think you'd speak to me, Brad. I don't think he'll speak to me ever again after fading him. Aussie Abroad, help. What should I do? Clark, McKercher, Windhager for Rao, Graham, and Biggie, or Clark, Carroll, McKercher for Comben, Biggie, and Graham, and bank 294K, and no, Merritt isn't reachable. With 294K, Merritt should be reachable next week, surely. Or do you mean this week? He means this week. He can only afford Rao if he trades out Clark, McKercher, Windhager, Rao, Graham, and Biggie. Or does he just do a triple downgrade with Comben? I think Rao will be good. I think it depends. What's Rao's run? How many games does Rao still have? Because if Rao's playing games at home, especially in the evening, those conditions, no one can play better than he can. So let's have a look. How many more games does Rao still have to play at home?
Joe, check out those
West Coast.
Yep.
Essendon.
It looks good.
Collingwood, Port, Brisbane, Melbourne. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Still got 6 games at home. 6 games out of all of these. That's not great.
You can fade him if you want, but
I think you can afford to fade him.
It looks rough.
Yeah, so I think you can. Do you have Steel already? If you don't have Steel, get Steel. He's that price. Bloody hell! Why is Petrarca on the buy? It would have been such a great week to trade in Petrarca. That's annoying. I'd hate to be your neighbor. These notes are running through my head. Scary to think about. Joe's things like that in the shower. Yep. Well, you're lucky. You don't live with me, bruv. You're very lucky. Rao, a target for me after the buy. Okay.
You mean what, round 15?
Seems like it.
It's rough.
Raul is almost too far gone for me personally.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And that's why it's pick him up at 620k, because after that it's really hard. It's really hard to pick him up after.
Yeah, I think I'm getting Steele in this week. If I decide to trade out Sanders, because like Sanders comes out as the sub. Bro, if oh my god, that's just hoops. Who has more money to make, Cadman or Howes? Oh, I think it's Cadman, but Howes though. Howes has been given a new lease on life with the Christian Salem hamstring injury, so it's possible that it could actually be Howes. His break even is back down to 21, and if he scores a 53. If he just goes 53s, he'll get to 270k come round 11. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it's not ideal, but he doesn't need spike games to go up in price. So potentially, and look who he's playing after the bye. He's playing Richmond, who have all these injuries in their forward line. So he could have a very easy time as well. So
just don't make
trades. I reckon House has more money left to be made. Unfortunately, he has the bye this week. But after the bye, I reckon playing at the MCG, he's an MCG specialist. Look at his games at the MCG, a 64, a 68, and a 62. Those are among his best games.
Check out his projected scores, like projected cash gen value, though. So maybe he gets to like 270.
Yeah, in 3 weeks, I reckon he can get to 270 in 3 weeks. He's playing MCG, and then he's got West Coast Optus Stadium, which is the same dimension as the MCG, plus the MCG again. So he's essentially playing like 5 games in a row at the MCG. I reckon you keep Howes, man.
We'll see.
Use him as a loop this week to loop between 2 players, because you obviously have Clahisi, and then you can loop between Williams and Mass. I'm doing that with Marty Hoare, unfortunately. But yeah, I reckon keep Howes. J1 Merritt might pump out a 140, but his price won't change. Steel price, yeah.
And that's what I've been saying. That's what I said between him and Matt Rowell, is that once they get to about 650k, it really takes a couple of stinker scores to drop in price, but they'll stay around the same price. And obviously you want to pay, 50k cheaper for a player than a lot more later.
Yep. Where do we stand on Hayden Young? Asks Jake Sharp. Preferring his run over Stewart's. Can also get tracked next week for Bonner or Z Will. Very nice. Hayden Young.
Hayden Young. What a pain in the butt. Real pain in the butt. This guy was 5'10", Joe. 5'15". Now he's gone up to more than what he was before. I'm not happy. He's
with West Coast this week. Get him in.
Yeah. He's a good player. It's just most of us now have been somewhat freed up by having Closey in the back line. You keep playing him if he keeps putting out scores that are similar to this. There's no reason not to. So I look at my back line, and currently it's finished. I've got Nick Martin at D5, and then Closey at D6. Eventually he's going to fall off. But for right now, it looks fantastic. So, yeah, it's a real tough question.
I reckon get Hayden Young in over Stewart.
You get him in to be a keeper, really.
Yeah. I prefer Hayden Young over Stewart. I don't know. Something is not 100% right with Stewart. I don't know what it is.
There's just role change. I feel like he has been dropping quite a few marks recently, which as a non-owner, I'm happy about. As a, people own him, I'm not happy about. But yeah, it just doesn't. Something's up. Something's up with him. I don't know if someone's like positional change or whatever.
Yeah, I think get Hayden Young. Can we afford to fade Steele? I just can't get him in. If
it's
you can't
tough,
get
Harry.
him in, then you can't get him in.
Last year, I got burnt by a lot of these type of players and not owning them. I had the cheaper options. It was great. But it's the ceiling on a Jack Steele and what was a Butters last year in the forward line and all these type of players. We're gifted by so much cash gen at the moment. It's ridiculous that if you don't have, Joe, look at Joe's midfield. 5 guys all averaging over a 120, apart from Bond, obviously. Last week's score pushed it down a bit. But like 5 guys over 120. People are going to have 8 guys over 120. And if you've got a guy that's scoring you 100, it's not going to be great for you. I think it's really going to start hurting. Those ceiling games, Jack, until he gets injured.
Sanders is a great fixture. I agree. My forward line is terrible.
That's the only problem. If he plays, which is the big problem.
Right, look at my forward
line's fine. Like the thing is, right? Big fan of content. The forward line is perfect this year because you've probably got 3 or 4 players now. James Orko's come into the fixture and said, "Hey, look, you have to look at picking me." But outside of those 4 players, you're safe because everyone's got guys scoring 80s, and then a Dempsey will have a good game. Maybe a Sam Darcy will have a good game. Things like that, and they'll pump out like an 80 plus. You're fine. Put all your money into the midfield at this point. You'll be able to get forward line players cheap. Most of us are pretty close to a back line. You don't have to worry about it right now. You've got Darcy, 400Ks coming. Dempsey hopefully pumps out and gets to a 350. Harley Reid, 350s coming. Easy. You really don't have to worry about it at the moment. There's a lot of these guys pumping out really good scores. And heck, like Big and Ewan's probably another one that's going to come out next week. A lot of people got Drury coming through as well from North Melbourne if he has another good game. There's so much scoring and cash gen there. And seems like the overall level of forward line players is dropping as well. Where's your Heaney, Joe? Oh, there's Heaney. Sorry, I missed Heaney. I'm looking for Heaney. Where's Flanders? My brain said
Flanders is here.
I said Heaney, yeah. So, like, your forward line, you can just leave it. Forward line is the last position you need to fill because there's guys who are going to be 500K, and that's it. So don't worry. Forward line doesn't matter. As long as you've got rookies scoring 80s, you're set.
Sanders the super sub, potentially. I wouldn't put it past that moron. I bet Bevo will bring in Harms for Libba and start Sanders as the sub.
And you know what? And Bevo, the problem with Bevo is he's spiteful. Bevo is so spiteful. Bevo's like, cool, you maybe look bad on the TV, you crack the shits when I subbed you, you sub every week. We have to play you because you're pick number 5, but you're the sub every week. Get good, and then maybe you'll play a full game again. It's going to happen. They'll be like, oh, rested game time, blah, blah, blah. We need a mature body out there to cover Libba being injured. Like, yeah. When you start hearing those words, get off the shit, boys.
Potentially, Fiddler. Potentially, it could be. I want to see
interesting. Sorry, Joe.
If Harms is named, then I'll get nervous.
Yeah. The thing is, with like your Sanders, like Harley Reid, a little bit different, but with Sanders and McKercher now, that's 2 guys that a lot of us maybe didn't have at starting their team, especially McKercher, and they haven't made us a lot of money considerably. Like you could have had. Maybe there wasn't another midfield primo or 2 that we don't have that are scoring big, but a 200K player getting to 300K really isn't that impressive.
I will be moving Martin, Holmes, and Roberts to defense next week. Trade out possibly Z Will, Powell, and Caulfield, hoping to have enough cash to get Walsh and Merritt track next week.
Well, that's the plan. And the thing is, like, you can probably wait a week on a track or Merritt, just depending on what things are like. But Zach Williams, I think, still has some cash gen to make. But he's my ticket. Him plus a midfielder is at least going to equal a Sam Walsh in like 2 weeks. Hopefully, depending on if I've got some cash left over. But it means I'm long-term holding Grundy, which is interesting.
Well, you're saving yourself a sideways trade that I've done.
Well, yeah, you need to start upgrading. I've had too many sideways trades at the moment for it not... It's too late now. You've got to start upgrading. By next week, let's say by round 10, you guys should really be aiming to have like 18 primos by round 10. Unfortunately, you need to have like 1 or 2 trades left, and then you can start worrying about everywhere else.
I like those trades, Zach. Howes, I think, can still make you more money. I think you'd be able to free up some more if you were to trade out like a Cadman instead of a Howes, I think. But yeah, I think Young's a fine trade in if you haven't got any of those other necessary premiums that you've missed out on. Nobody is going to pick him, but Mac Andrew is a sneaky long-term cash gen pick. Are you going to pick him, Lukey? Are you going to pick him, mate? Noah. Thinking McKercher or Clark to Graham and Howes or Caulfield to Clohisi might boost as well, but very few options this week. Yeah, those are good. Those two are absolutely necessary, Noah. Do it. Hexerism, sorry. Hexerism. Contemplating using Boost, McKercher, Crouch, and Windsor out. However, I already have the Sun rookies. Or do I go 2 trades and get Biggie and a player like Flanders or Boost with Combe and 600k Primo? 600k. Can you go? Is it possible to go 620k? If you can't go 620k, then just go and get Sammy Walsh. I think it's time to upgrade, and Flanders is definitely an upgrade. He's playing that half-back role, and he's absolutely loving it. So I reckon Combin's a fine trade in this week, and I think Flanders is obviously a very fine trade in this week. I think you're going to need Flanders eventually. The longer you wait to get him, the more expensive he's going to get. His break-even is now 81. He's up to 566, and he's got the Swans this week at the SCG. Could score a bit worse on the smaller ground, but he is also capable of winning his own contested football. And given the smaller size ground of the SCG, could get some score assists going into their forward 50. I think you're going to need to get Sam Flanders in. It's not a question of when, it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. So I think you need to get Flanders in. He's pretty damn important, I think. Who are you going to trade out for track next week? It could be a final boost from your Aussie abroad, trading out Massimo. Could be Massimo, Roberts, Williams potentially to get him in. Maybe even a Sanders. If Sanders doesn't do great, then it could be Massimo, Roberts, and Sanders to get me there. Something has to happen. Track has to come in as he's going to dominate Richmond. There's no other way to say it. He's just going to dominate completely. Oh, mate. Travis,
hey,
yet another one, mate.
Travis.
Would you look at Lohman, who is 205k forward? We can absolutely look at Kai Lohman for you, my friend.
Is Zorko a good upgrade? Yes, he's good. I think he's going to jump up in price a little bit, but if you have better things to do, get those players in instead.
Okay, so Kai Lohman, -52 break even.
Yep.
He's had 2 very good weeks in a row, going 88 and 81. Bloody impressive. He's got the Cats at home this week. That's really cool. How has he been scoring? Where has he been scoring his points?
Oh, he's been kicking goals, man.
2 goals, 1, and only 1 goal for 81. That's really impressive.
Did he have a lot of tackles? I know he definitely had a few link-up shots. Well,
6
I don't think
tackles.
we'll see it. I don't think we'll see it in the actual scoring run here, but he definitely had a lot of score assists, I'm pretty sure. He did quite well with setting up some people and in some crucial time as well. You know how they do that and then they get extra points? Yeah.
And you can tell. You can tell because the disposals are around that 50-meter arc. They're not deep. They're high. They're half forward. And that's really cool because it means he's kicking the ball in to a leading Hipwood here. He's kicking the ball in to a leading Danaher here. And then sometimes he might have a flyer from Lincoln McCarthy, for example, or a crumbing goal to Charlie Cameron. So this is really promising. It means that his disposals are impactful because he's getting score assists. You are correct. So I think, but 205K is a lot of money.
Yeah, it really is. You're struggling at that point. 205K is a lot of money.
If he drops a stinker, like if he scores
kills him.
37, he'll make you
him.
41K.
It kills him. He needs to score an 80, otherwise he's gone. Cash gen just hurts. The problem is, right? So who was asked? Just quickly check on Travis. So sorry, Travis. Sorry, Travis. The problem with Lohman is that if you take into account that a trade is effectively 100K, right? Lohman has to get over 300K for you to be able to put him in your team and to feel good about it, right? You need a cash positive in terms to do it. Yes, we are looking for rookie downgrades, but as Velo says here, the vest is the problem. If you look at his like projected scoring and his projected price, he doesn't even reach that. He needs to score like 2 more 80s, and he can do it. 100% he can do it. But it's a real tricky position to be in. And right now, it's the reason why I'm hesitant to bring Comben in versus some other guys who are 120K. Because it's really easy to get a rookie up to 220. But it's really hard for a Lohman who basically you've invested 300K at that point into getting Lohman into your team. And then you have to trade him out again because he's obviously not going to be a keeper. So it's a lot of money to spend, which is the tricky part.
Yeah, it is a lot of money to trade to spend. Absolutely. That's the issue. Weber has passed multiple concussion tests and Bulldogs have no idea why he collapsed.
This is Bevo.
Kind of scary. The Bevo. He realizes Bevo's his coach and he's like, oh no, I can't deal with it anymore. Chris, would you recommend straight swapping Petrarca for Steele? No, I wouldn't do that. No sidewaysing. Jimmy, 547K. Who is the best premium? 547K.
I think Zorko's getting there. As a forward keeper option, Dane Zorko's definitely getting there. Let's have a look. Elliot Yeo would definitely be in my projections. I would almost say get Elliot Yeo into your team. Yeah, Elliot Yeo or Zorko, I think would be Elliot Yeo or Zorko would be the two for me, Jimmy.
Yeah. Nobody else. Cogs is minor injury. You're not even looking at Cogs anyway.
Oh, no, well, Cogs is out. Cogs not minor injury. He did his like MCL or something, didn't he? Cogs?
No, it's a minor one. He was only missing like 2 weeks, apparently.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's probably him. Michael, Joe, any chance Eston will eventually go with the sole Ruckman later in the season? Supposedly Draper is touch and go to get forward DPP. Maybe not worth a... Nah, he's not worth a spot, Michael. He's not a great footballer. He needs to... If he's not playing full guns blazing every week, he's not even serviceable. He has to be 100%. He's a barometer for us. And the stuff that he does probably don't get translated into Supercoach scoring very well. His hit out to advantage also can be hit or miss on a given week. So, yeah, and I think he will always be sharing ruck with someone. I think there will be times where Goldie will be rested. And I think those are times where we might see Nick Bryan come out from the VFL. Because we do need to pump some more development into Nick Bryan. I don't think, Goldie's not going to be around forever, right? He's already an old experienced campaigner. He's coming in just for a short time while Nick Bryan continues to develop in the VFL. So I think we're not going to see much of Sol Draper this year so far.
The thing is, well, is that you guys have a lot of trouble in the forward line. So having another tall who can mark is a real big thing. And maybe Draper goes back to majority ruck, and then like a Goldie takes the forward spot because he can still mark. Maybe he doesn't play the full time in the ruck, whatever. But it's a pinch hit player in that position. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with 2 meter Peter when he comes back. But I could really see if Harry Jones has a bad week.
No, 2 meter Peter straight back in. 2-meter Peter.
I have a question for you, Joe. Does
Yes.
2-meter Peter back in kick out Draper from the team? And you just play Draper, and so you just play Goldstein and 2-meter Peter? Because he was doing partial ruck, right?
He does, yeah. I don't think we do, to be honest. It is a bit tall in the forward line, but we don't really have a particularly tall forward line anyway. Because right now it's the resting ruckman with Harry Jones, who's playing more as a half forward as opposed to a full forward. Our real full forwards at the moment are the resting ruckman, Langford, and Stringer. They're the stay at home, close to goal forwards. And they're not particularly tall. Langford's not tall and Stringer's not tall. We're really relying on that second ruckman to be the primary tall forward in there whilst waiting for 2-meter Peter to come back. So I don't think – I find it hard to imagine Draper getting dropped. I really don't – I can't see it personally.
Oh, some people in chat are saying Carroll's been concussed. We'll have to have a check of it, Joe. He might be forced out of the team.
Steelers to get Joe, says Merritt, to expected. Bro, I thought Merritt, I'm not even joking. I did think that the reason why I didn't start Zach Merritt this year is because I anticipated that he was going to get tagged at various points at this point. We've said it all along in the preseason that we anticipate Zach Merritt to be a top 8 mid. But you look at the early fixture, he played Hawks round 1. You would automatically assume that Finn McGuinness goes straight to Merritt. There's no one else taggable at Essendon or worth tagging. So you would expect Finn McGuinness goes to him. Clark's not doing anything, so you wouldn't anticipate a tag against the Swans. But the Saints, they've used Windhager to tag. You would think that maybe it's Windhager goes to him. Poor Adelaide, they've used Drew as a tagger so much. So I also assumed that Willem Drew would go to him. So these are 3 tag games that I thought we were going to have, which is why we didn't start him. But Finn didn't play in round 1, so he didn't get tagged then. And then Swans, he went forward and kicked some goals in the last quarter, went bananas. St Kilda, there was no Windhager to tag. And Willem Drew was just too busy kicking our ass. He had no time to tag Merritt that week.
Yeah.
So he's just gone ballistic. And those are 3 tags that I thought that we were going to have at the start of the season that we didn't end up having. And when you don't tag Zach Merritt, you're seeing what you get out of him. And so it's rough. It's rough.
Yeah, Finn's saying Travis is saying Finn didn't play last week.
So I pointed that out already. So it's rough.
Yeah, it's hard to predict a 130 average, unfortunately, in Supercoach. So, yeah, it's not great.
Is Jackson a trade out? No, I think you hold him this week because of the West Coast matchup.
Yeah,
I think he's playing more forward. He will still kick goals, I think.
We've seen already how flexible having a Jackson in the forward line means in terms of bye coverage. It almost is like another player just playing. And I think as well, like if you've got a Gawn or Grundy or whoever, you can do the loophole and then make sure that you've got enough players there. The big thing with Jackson is his scoring is enough that he ends up being a forward keeper anyway. So you might as well just keep him in the forward line and not trade him. There was a question out here before, Joe. I don't know if you missed it about trading out Crouch. I would probably look to trade out. Sorry, Steen was talking about it. I potentially would be looking to trade out Crouch for like a Merritt. I think it's getting to that point. I think Crouch, he was never going to be a keeper for us. It's been fantastic, his scoring, but he's almost on the back end of that scoring. He's made you, 40K, and you're pretty happy about that kind of thing. But if it means that you can get Merritt, who's pumping out huge numbers for potentially one trade, make it happen, really.
Carroll, no concussion. That is false news, guys. Okay.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
Just practicing spreading misinformation. Well, there you go. Thank you. You're lucky we haven't banned you.
Reverse trades. No, we won't do that. The thing is,
like, Heaney is your must
there's
get.
A few more players there. Heaney's been a must get. I don't know. People say this, and then Jack Steele goes 130 because he's versing a team that tags. Like, yeah, I don't know.
I need a heaney.
You can play that song again too if you want.
Holding up for a heaney, bro. Look,
He's been the perfect captain option every week.
All right, so Melbourne started the season slow. He dominated. Collingwood also started the season slow, dominated. Essendon, we lost. They played at home and they were better than us, so he did really well. Richmond, everyone's going big on Richmond. West Coast, he was unreal, and goal kicking mids are very special. He's got a tougher matchup this week. Does he come back down to earth a little bit?
No. He's going to go bananas. He's good. He's going to go bananas. He's just going to go bang. He probably won't score a 140, but a 120, sure, that's fine. And that's all you really need. Potentially,
yeah, the question does become about Parker.
When's Parker back? But we saw with Adams back, like, it doesn't really seem like if Parker plays forward, that only makes it better for Heaney because he's getting a lot of that time. Like, even if he rotates, he's still going to kick goals. And when he doesn't, he's going to burst from the middle. It's more him losing that midfield role. But if Sydney keep winning, they're not going to change it, right? Why would the coach come in and change it if Sydney keep winning? You wouldn't,
exactly.
Right?
That's the question. Apparently, some of the boys here, Travis and Velo, are hearing that Shrek could still be 2 weeks away.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. And as I've been saying, I've said it every week, Joe. Shrek is going to get managed when he comes in. Freo are doing well. Shrek's going to get managed. He's only going to be the sub or get subbed. He probably won't be the sub, but he'll get subbed. Like, it's a tough one, but
yep.
Yeah, keep what's his face? Keep Jackson. They're gonna go slow with him. There's no point.
I think Rowell over still this week. Rowell plays at home and in Darwin. Run coming up is hard to look past.
Yep.
It would be a pod move as well. Steele's ownership. What's Steele's ownership at?
Well, Steele was cheaper, and a lot of people picked him because he didn't have the early
22%.
buy. Yeah.
So he'll get to about
jumped on Steele, like periods of time that I have, like last week or the week before when he was like 550k.
18%. Yeah, so he's about. It's not that difference. It's only about 4% difference between them. Look, for people who are lower in the rank and trying to catch up somehow, you do have to do things a bit differently. Maybe it is a Matt Rao. You guys are right also. I didn't notice that he was playing at home, but he's also playing in Darwin. And those are TIO. And that's the Gabba, capable of also being Dewey. So he could have 1, 2, 3, 4. He could have 4 games in a row of sliding, slippery, wet weather football.
Yeah.
Maybe it is Rao. Maybe it is Rao over Joe.
I've just put Rao in my team. Oh, it looks juice.
So you've got both Rao and Steele. For me, I'm in a position where I'm thinking between one of them or Merritt.
Yep. My midfield at the moment, obviously, Nick Martin needs to go back, and then Flanders needs to come out of the midfield. But my midfield has Matt Roberts at M8.
Very nice. Legend planning on bringing in Hayden Young or Tom Stewart next week, leaning towards Young due to a friendly run, but Stewart is bottomed out in price. Thoughts?
The problem is, Legend, at this point, I would be putting money into the midfield. I think there's so many good midfielders there that if you look at your rookies, right? The first run of rookies, so the guys that we started with, are starting to get to the price where we can actually look to do stuff with them. Get rid of the players, start to upgrade. They're around the 300k mark, whatever. The problem with upgrading now in the back line is that you miss out on those players unless you've only got 2 primos. Okay, I understand. But you've got Zach Williams in there, hopefully. You might have a Massimo in there as well. You've probably got a Closey in there as well. There's no reason right now to upgrade into there. I doubt Hayden Young is going to change in price that much. I doubt Stewart is going to go up in price that much at the moment. I think Stewart's on the downcrease at the moment as well. Upgrade your midfield now because McKercher has already fallen off. Sanders is fallen off. Roberts is the next one that's going to fall off. You're missing out on all these good scores in the midfield. I've got Matt Rao. Cool. You've got Sanders. I beat you by 100 points this week. Like, you need to start putting money into the midfield. Get those buff midfielders in so later on it doesn't hurt you as much. And then you can get your 500k defender. No worries. But you've got to start putting money into this midfield, mate. Unless you've got no one, sure. But you need to grab... Rowell is cheap. Steele's still cheap. We're not saying Sam Walsh in a couple of weeks, but Zach Merritt's still around the mark. All these guys are still a bit cheap. You can save money there. Get the big scores. Next week, it's not best 18 anymore. It's really going to hurt. Sorry, that's my rant gone. But yeah, it's really going to hurt.
Thank you for listening to his TED Talk. We do have flyers on each of the doors on the way out. I'm just kidding. Fremantle don't kick goals. Don't think Jackson will score well. Plus, West Coast will win anyway.
But potentially, I want West Coast to win.
Shots fired.
But Jackson looked all right. In the first couple of games, he was kicking goals, and that's why he popped out 100 plus. Because he was doing what he's doing now. He just added on like 30 or 40 points for goals. So he needs to start doing that. Otherwise, he's going to fall off even further.
Lewis McShane, Merritt and a 123k or Took and Combin. Merritt and bank the cash. Steele might have to be a wait until after his bye before his run and hope there's a dud 70 game in there. Aussie abroad, it doesn't look like there is a dud 70 in there is the problem. He's looking so damn good at the moment. He is fit and firing. He is back to the Steele of old.
The problem with Steele is that you need to have more than one done 70. You need to have like 3 because his ceiling is so high. He'll have a 70 and then the week after he'll have like a 140. And then what is it? So maybe when Brad Crouch comes back, it changes things a bit. Joe's obviously checking out his CBAs. But when that stuff starts to change, sure. But yeah, it's a tough one.
This is the difference. He's averaging 90% CBAs this year.
Yep. There's no Brad Crouch.
His disposal efficiency is great. His 28 disposals, 8 tackles. Like he's doing it. He's doing it all. He is doing it all. So I don't know. I was thinking that he might not be in that top upper echelon given what's happened, but he's doing it against tough matchups as well. Like against the Giants. He killed Tom Green. Like he taught Tom Green a lesson. He went in full orthodox style, baptized him. Like he just full submerged him in water and I am your daddy. Like just doing it. Like it's ridiculous what he did to him. So yeah, I'm just gonna go with Steele. I don't want him to keep killing me all the time.
Yeah, it's tough. And it sucks not like it. There's players that we like to watch on field, and Steele is 100% one of those players. Like, you watch him and it's like, oh, Steele is on 20 points. Cool. 3 tackles. Yep. Back up to 80. Yeah, exactly, Bello.
He's back. He is back to his best. Hoops, thoughts on these trades? Sarong, Clahisi, and Graham for Jordan McKercher.
No, the other way around.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
But yeah.
Not many people are jumping on Sarong this week, but this is a great week to get onto Sarong. I agree. He's got West Coast this week. He could pop off. He could pop off this week.
How are West Coast against opposition mids, Joe? Do you want to have a quick look?
They're ranked 13th. They're 13th easiest.
No, but
Oh,
I mean
sorry.
like their plus their DFS plus.
Oh,
odds.
DFS. Sure. We can do that. We want to go to defense versus position. Thank you guys so much for sticking around. We've gone over 2 hours, and this number of viewers is still
pretty
hovering around
consistent.
the 140. You guys are absolute freaks of nature. Much love to all of you. If you haven't, a like and a subscribe, obviously greatly helps our channel with the algorithm and things like that. But like honestly, it's unreal. West Coast are pretty good against inside mids, to be fair.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. Elliot Yo's been going bananas recently, and Jimby's still in there, and a few of these other ones. Like, I don't think they're as much of a. They fault everywhere else on field. Like everywhere else is green, but inside mids, it's tough. Once you get the ball out of the contested position, then you do well. But
yeah, Liam Baker 97, Jack
like
Graham
look at the
95.
contested possession numbers. Like obviously Richmond, a little bit different. But what about the game before this one? Like, can you pull up the game from the previous week, and you'll be able to see.
If we go to the results, and we want to talk about West Coast.
Yeah.
They're going to go head to head. It's not going to be a tag. No. So it could be more tackles. It could be more contested possessions.
The problem is, though, I think as well, teams have started to realize that you don't tag Brayshaw if you want to win. You tag Sarong because he's more damaging on field. And I think we saw that a little bit last week. So either last week or the week before.
Oh, this doesn't have contested possessions. All right,
no, you got to pull up fan footy, unfortunately.
Got to go to fan footy.
Yeah, you go to fan footy and then you just go archive in the top left.
So, archive?
Yeah. Let me pull it up.
Where the hell is the archive?
So you've got the game. The 3 lines on the side under the fan footy logo. And you go to AFL. And then you pull up round scores. Is it round scores? No, maybe it's team sheets. I think it's team sheets.
What do you mean? You mean score table?
Yeah, sorry, that's what you want. Oh, no, archive at the bottom. Yeah, and then you just choose the game that you want. There you go. Yeah, we got it worked out, Bello. Thanks, mate.
I'm not a technology guy.
Flash is saying here, Houston over Steel. Yeah, it's tough, mate. It's tough. Of course, Paul. Of course. Merritt is so low owned because Merritt has been so damn expensive. That's the issue.
So contested possessions, Port Adelaide just edged them by 5. Mm-hmm. And then against the Giants, plus 10.
It's not that much against teams that supposed
the
to
Dogs. The Dogs were plus 6. And then against the Swans, West Coast actually won.
Yep.
So that means that that means that there are contests where the ball's in dispute.
I mean, Elliot Yeo does have half of those contested possessions. Let's be fair.
Correct.
But yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, so I think there are contests because they've got Yeo in there, they've got Kelly, they've got Reed, they've got a bunch of players who can get contested possessions. Even BJ Williams himself. So we could see some situations where Elliot Yeo is about to pounce on a ball, but gets tackled for example, by what's his face? How many tackles is Sarong averaging? Let's see. Each one of these games, I want to see how much is Sarong tackling in each of these games. Is he being a prolific tackler? If he is, then I'm not concerned about his scoring this week. Okay. Tackles. Sarong, 7 tackles. All right, he was up there. Very nice. 6 tackles. Very nice. He was up there. 6 tackles. Yep, very nice. He was up there. Oh. 3 tackles in this game.
I think he got the Hewitt tag. He got tagged.
Yeah, he was paying some attention to him.
Yeah.
So I think Sarong will be all right this week. I think Sarong's a top 8 to 10 caliber mid. You can afford to wait a week on him, considering that his break-even's pretty high. But if you think he's going to pop off against West Coast, given that he's a tackler, a contested ball winner, he's playing at home, I think he's a fair shout for a trade in this week. I do think so. That's fair. Would you rather get Steele or Heaney? Asks Viral Music.
Heaney. Sorry, no, Steele. Steele at the moment. I think Heaney's going to have a drop game or not. Steele is obviously cheaper, which is a good thing. He obviously plays midfield. I think he's currently ranked 2nd in the midfield. Heaney's probably at his highest price around is what we're probably going to get. Yes, he's projected to go 720, but I don't think he's going to go 720. That would be insane. So, yeah, Steele would be the one for me, I think, definitely this week.
Yep. Mariam, is Crouch to Walsh worth it? Without Chera out for 3 to 4 weeks, presumably he could score really well.
I would wait. The problem with Walsh is that it seems to be so dependent on if Chera's in the team or not, which is partly why he went so big last week. I would 100% wait for Walsh next week. There's players we need to get now before they jump up to being unobtainable, and I think you can wait on a Walsh. I really think you can wait on him.
How much does Chera's presence in Carlton's side affect Walsh?
Aussie abroad. Yep. I reckon.
Especially if he had a stinker this week, Aussie abroad.
Yeah. Carroll keep his spot. I think he's 50-50. He has been having a couple of dropped games, and I think all the injuries at the moment seem to be defenders. And I don't think Carroll plays that position, which is the issue. They might put him as like on the bench, but it is a bit sketch. New one, decent job security. Wait till team sheets, but he's always been around the mark. He's just had to wait for an injury. And I think with, I don't think his 89 scoring is going to stay there, but I think with Dawson potentially out for a little while, we haven't heard yet, but with Dawson out for a little while, I think he keeps his spot. He's definitely a better defender than Pink. That's pretty easy. And the fact that he was taking some kick-ins kind of gives a little bit to that too, because he was doing that in the preseason games. I currently have him in my team.
Okay. 5, 6. I know Walsh was coming off a back injury last year to start things off. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, he's played almost every game. Meanwhile, did Cheryl miss any games? No.
Like subbed?
He played like every game. All right. Was there a bye in round 19? No, there wasn't. Round 19. Oh, he got subbed off. Bloody hell.
Yeah, I think he got injured.
Wait. 109 in 34% time on ground.
Yep.
That's right. He was on track he was killing it against West Coast that week. That's right.
Chera's a good player, man.
This is Walsh.
This is Walsh. Is that the game where Sam Walsh got that's not the game where Sam Walsh got his head taken off, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So that was the one that we was going bananas. That was the 1 week, round 19, All right, between rounds 20 and 24. Shit, he didn't play between round 20 and 24 either. It's hard to see. It's hard to see how much Chera affects Walsh because Chera has been pretty good at playing for Carlton ever since he's come in. He's been pretty consistent. Hasn't missed too many games, so it's hard to see what Walsh's output is without Chera in the side. I can't make a call on that at the moment. With the triple boost comment I made before, I'll have 1.1 mil with Crouch, Windsor, McKercher out, so I can get Merritt and the 2 North boys, or McKercher and Crouch for Biggie and Merritt. I think you can.
Look,
Crouch,
I
Windsor,
would
McKercher.
I would do the first one. If it doesn't affect you too much, I would do the first one because next week we need to get Petrarca in, and I really feel like you obviously have a lot of money left over. You can probably just do like a straight trade for Petrarca or a downgrade to someone and then get Petrarca in. So I really feel like get Merritt this week. You're not losing that much on field probably, and then you can go and get Petrarca in the week after. So I think you'll be okay.
We'll probably have like 10 or so more minutes, guys, and then call it a night. Boys, how are we? Good. Guess who VC gone? Then put the C on green to try and win a league head-to-head.
Not this guy.
Whoever it was, they need to
silly.
slap themselves and look at themselves in the mirror and ask why. I'm looking at you, Paul. Aussie. Hey, you boys, decided to go for Graham and Combin this week, but I definitely need to bring in a Primo next week. Who are must-haves by next week? Do I go to Jackson thinking he's top 6?
Well, which is why we keep him. Well, we know a few. We know there's a few. There's a few players you must have next week or must have in probably by next week. And it's all the guys who are sitting around 620K who were in the 500K mark and then have now jumped up. So your Steele, your Matt Rao are probably pretty close because they're on the uptrend and guys like Tom Green and Bontempelli are going down. I think Petrarca is a definite shout for next week as well if you can facilitate it. I cannot now. I now have 25 trades, which is not great, but it is what it is. It's happened. We move on from there. So, yeah.
Fair enough. We'll try and rocket through these people. Cap and Flash, should I prioritize Steele this week or get Track next week?
Steele, probably.
Yep, cool.
You know what you're going to get out of him. Track, obviously, he's going to score well, but if you miss out on like a 120 this week, it's going to hurt.
Joe, join me and hope to God that Steele drops a dud 70 and we can get him together after his bye before his good. It's not going to happen. As much as I want it to happen, it's not going to happen, Aussie, bro. I'm sorry. Luke, best Primo mid to bring in this week. If you don't have Steele, get Steele.
Yeah. What about Rao?
If you have Steele, get Rao.
Yeah, I think so.
Jack or Sarong says Jack, but I think Rao might be a bit better.
Price. Isn't Sarong going to drop in price?
If he scores under 155 against West Coast.
Okay, cool. All right.
I think he can get. I think Rao's pretty good. Sarong, Rao, or Green? Asks Zach Rashid. Rao or Sarong, whichever you feel. Not Tom Green. He's dropping in price.
Probably not Tom Green.
Legend. My midfield is Bont, Green, Sarong, Libber, Steele. And have a plan for next 3 weeks where I can get Young or Stewart, then Merritt, then Oliver.
Nice. But, I hope you can understand what I was saying about putting money into the midfield and not into the defense at the moment.
Mike, I've had enough. Bont, English, and Sanders. See you later. It might seem crazy, but it ain't no lie. Doggies. Bye, bye, bye. He is making a song. He's doing a parody. He's done it. I can see what you're doing, Mike. I see what you're doing. Very well played. I like it. but I wouldn't go that far. No, surely. Surely you just jest in that song format. Cam Rayner a pod. He is a pod. And I was actually looking at him last night to see if I get him in. He's had the role more than just this last week. He's had the role, but he hasn't been consistently scoring in it. He's had the CBAs all throughout the year so far, and his scoring has varied drastically in these games. So maybe you can even say he's trying to warm up to the role, but even then, before last week, he scored only 42, despite being in the centre balances. So I don't know. For me, if you're going to pick a line forward, I think it's got to be Zorko. Is he any priority over another premium midfielder? I don't see Merritt.
No, I at this point, I would 100% say get someone else in because they're going to jump up in price. Whereas I don't think he needs consistent score. Like, there's no way he keeps up with a 140 average.
No way.
There's just no way. And any loss in price, so any loss in scoring of that average is really going to hurt. Like, you might have to wait for 3 weeks for Heaney to come back. But as people have said before, there is quite a few Sydney players coming back. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And all it takes is like 15 or 20 points gone. And then so get someone else in. I would be more happy getting Merritt in. But obviously you should have started Heaney. He was 400k.
Yeah. Correct. Nice eyes, by the way, Dibber. I like him. Cap and Flash. What rookie do I downgrade to this week, guys? I have no effing clue. Should I wait for the teams to come?
You need Gray.
The two Cold Ghost boys, guaranteed. Absolutely guaranteed. And then next week, you can get McAuliffe. If you're not going early on Biggie, then Biggie becomes on the bubble next week. We've got some rookies this week and next week. Velo, he's back to yes, I saw that. Paul, what's the verdict? Steele, Rowell, or Merritt?
Steele, Rowell, or Merritt? I'm going to leave that one for you, Joe. Who would you say first?
All three of them.
Yeah, you got to have, but you have to pick one.
Look, Merritt's break even still relatively high, so Merritt's break even can drop.
Yep.
Steele is about to go up again, as is Rowell. So really, it just comes down to what you prefer. Do you want someone who is going to be a contested beast, or do you want someone who could potentially have a game where he doesn't go bananas due to poor disposal efficiency? I think Merritt is more likely, given that he's more of an outside type, that he is more prone to a stinker than a Steele or a Rowell, I think. Having said that, Merritt's caliber is ridiculously impressive. So really, you can't go wrong with either of them. And that's the thing. The reason why it's so difficult is they're all incredibly good for various different reasons. I think Steele and Merritt probably ahead of Rowell if I had to order them. I think Steele and Merritt are ahead of him just because Rowell hasn't done it consistently before in the past. You're really counting on this breakout to continue, and it really well could. That's why I think it's like 1A, 1B, 1C, not as opposed to 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? So I think you'd probably go Steele this week, given the cheaper price point, before he goes up in price even more. He has a great run at Marvel. So I'll go Steele first, Merritt second, Rowell third.
Yep.
Frankie, is Combin a must-have or wait for Biggie next week?
No.
Why not both?
I don't think he's a must-have. You can have both. Why not both, really, is the question. I don't think he's a must-have. I think there's opportunities with him, but 100% I don't think he's a must-have. We were looking before about Kai Lohman and how Kai Lohman, the investment already. So the problem with Combin is that, like, I'm going up from Sexton to Combin, or was considering doing that as a trade. That's 40k. spending the trade itself is 100K. So unless Comben gets up to, let's say, 350 to 400K mark in terms of pricing, I'm already losing out in cash gen. Like, it's not a downgrade to get Comben in. I'm already losing out in cash gen. That's really the tricky thing. I hope Big Inuin keeps his spot. I don't think he's going to score 89 every week, but I truly, like, Comben could come out and be fantastic. But that 129 or whatever it was, 120 score, is now out of his system after this week. He's going to jump up a little bit in price. The 120 is out of his system. Now he's accountable to everyone at that point. And yeah, it's a lot of money. Comben's effectively costing you 400 points, Frank. 400K at that point. Or at least 360. Let's be generous. 360K. To be able to get him in. Like, it's a tough one.
Also, you mentioned this before.
Yeah.
When Biggie's playing, he could be playing that loose defender, that distributor.
We saw
whereas
that.
Comben is playing lockdown. I know which one I'd rather have. I don't want the lockdown. I'd much rather have the free player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. How long is McKercher out for? He could be playing this week. He's been cleared of structural damage.
Yeah, it might just be like if they rest him or not, but he hasn't done anything like that.
Yeah. Aiden, he held out for Heaney till after his bye. Well done. Congratulations.
Nice work,
mate.
Aiden. Now you just got to wait for him to hold out to have a crappy point, have a crappy score. Aiden, let us know in the comments. I've got like 4 minutes and then I'm gone. I think Joe as well. Let us know in the comments. Have you seen Joe's song from today? Did you catch Joe's song? What do you think? Is he in the group? Can he duet with you
terrible.
guys?
It's terrible. Don't you dare get me in the group. It's terrible. That was a one-off. Does Carroll keep his spot with Carlton injuries? He should.
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. I think he's going to end up being the sub
Cripps
or around the sub.
Cripps loves him.
Yeah, but Walsh coming in kicks his out of his spot, and all the injuries are defenders. They're not midfielders. Like Chera maybe, but yeah.
Cripps is a killer. Don't worry. Cripps will talk to Vossi. Where do I find it? I don't know. You got to scroll. I don't know what time it was. Nini boy, is this good trade? Stewart in, Clohisi in, Comben in, out Massimo, King, and Howes. I think Massimo's break even's been reset now after that.
Yeah, you got to hold Massimo. Yeah, you've got to hold him.
Yeah, his break even's reduced back to 34, so I wouldn't be trading him out at this point. Plus, he's playing against North Melbourne, so he could score another good one this week. I wouldn't be trading him out, no. King can probably go, yes. He's had 2 shit ones. Plus, he's got knee concern after that game. I think he'll be right to play, but yeah, you can't. It's hard to trust him. I wouldn't be forcing Stewart in at the moment. Try and get some good mids.
No chance. There's no way you force Stewart in at this point. Like, no chance.
Who knows? We'll see.
He's got a 142 break even. Why would you even bring him in this week?
But you definitely, yeah. No, you trade him. He owns him. He has to trade him out. Birdman, if Track scores 140 against Richmond, then 120, he's still dropping to 605K. Yeah, but you're missing 140 though, and then it's a pretty big deal. 140.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Guys, you keep saying it's upgrade to Primo season, but that means we need rookies.
We do
that
have
you see on the horizon.
There are. We got. I don't know how Blake Drury's going to go, but every club at the moment is playing one or two. It just really depends, and I think a lot of us have to be really careful with our money, and that is with grabbing the guys that were 500K that are now getting close or just over 600, and then waiting for the other ones to drop. We're blessed this year, absolutely blessed that almost every single one of my rookies is going to get to like 300K. I don't think we've had a year that's happened. Plus, like a Closey and a Graham who are going to get to that. Closey could be a primo keeper at this point. Like, it's bonkers, right? So, yeah. We're just blessed.
Let me have a look at the Essendon injury list. We might have I don't know how many weeks still before Zach Reid comes back. Because then that will be another rookie.
I've still got him.
You've still got him. Well, there you go.
I traded out Hall. I figured Hall was never going to play again, but Zach Reid at least had something.
Injury
That is not the current injury list, Joe.
Where is he?
It's 3 to 4 weeks. Again.
So we've still. This hasn't been updated though. It's still too early in the week, but it should be 1 week less.
Every week is 3 to 4 weeks though with this kid.
Potentially, bro. It still has Sam Darham as a test, bro. Yeah. He played last week.
His concussion test.
Raul, Luke.
Yeah.
If Garcia isn't named sub, do you think he's a better option than Biggie? I think his job security is really sus, Jamon. Yeah. Maybe next time Dash. Should we trade in Compton or Biggie? I think you've heard that enough now, Harry, by now.
There's
love
no
the content.
Garcia.
Yeah. Cheers, Rod. He's a track owner. Congratulations.
Nice work.
Sarong Green or Raul. Probably go with Raul.
Yeah.
Steele or Merritt this week. Probably Steele. Only just coin flip, really. Coming from a Crow supporter, Dan Curtin will eventually be a downgrade. True. Yes. Agreed.
Will be expensive, though.
Will be expensive. No love for Mac Andrews. No, there isn't, unfortunately.
It's too expensive. He's not going to be a keeper. And cool, you've spent a trade, and maybe he'll get to 400k. Or like 450. But you've spent the trade, so you're already 450k into him. Like, our backline doesn't need more players at this point.
If it's Harley Reid, too late, William. Sorry. If you're talking about Harley Reid, I mean, his price now is what?
318k.
318.
He might get the
with a negative 18.
Be pretty cool.
I mean, does he make another 100k from here?
Probably.
If he goes,
he's projected 40.
No, he's projected 80s.
No, but I mean, he's projected 40k this week if he scores an 80.
Yeah, he has to go 80 again.
That's all
right.
If
he's going 80 every week, he's not getting 100k.
Yeah, 80s every week. He's 318. He'll get to 400k. But that's the problem, William. Is what I was saying was if a trade is 100k, you need him to get to like 450 to be worth it. That's the issue.
Is Sanders a trade? I don't think so. I think he'll play a full game and re-kickstart, but Big J thinks so.
I just wanted the money. It allowed me to get a primo. My midfield's getting stacked. I'd rather play a rookie forward than a rookie midfielder at the moment, which is a bit sad.
I reckon cut your losses, Steve.
He's such a dud.
129 break even.
What did he score? An 8? No. Was it
9.
12? Yeah, 9. No, nah.
Yeah.
Abs sucked everyone in.
It is what it is. Shit. I said it is what it is. Got Carroll, Clark, and Sanders who to trade. All three of them could go if you really wanted to.
Yep. Clark, you have to go. I think we're talking about Jai Clark. I think he's going to start losing your money. That score of like an 8 on the weekend really killed him. Like failed rookie. So you just can't.
Hoops, I blame you. I blame you for all these questions now, Hoops. Reliable Dodo, Raul, Anderson, or Miller. I'm liking Raul, but I have to get rid of Cadman instead of Carroll to get it. Yeah, fair enough.
Guys,
I like Raul.
If you haven't already, hit that sub button. We're trying to grow the channel. It's going to be fantastic. We love all the support that we've got. So, been smashing it this preseason. And thank you guys for watching as well. Like 128 people. It jumped up to 150 before Joe started singing. But over 100 just watching the stream at the moment. Bloody fantastic.
Don't blame it on me. Don't blame it on me.
You guys have enjoyed the content and going over a few of the must-have players. We've got a few other videos coming out. I've got my team review that's got to come out sometime soon as well. So, yeah, stay tuned for those.
Yeah, I think if you're boosting to get to upgrade your team, I think it's worth it, Frank.
I would not boost to get Heaney. 100%. Boost to get someone else who's a midfielder at 650k. Do not boost to get Heaney, Frank. Like a Zach Merritt.
He's F1.
Yeah, but Heaney's going to have a dud game and go down in price. There's midfielders who are on the rise or around the rise. Heaney's going to have a dud game. It's going to happen. They've got players coming back. He might score a 120 instead of a 130, and then in 2 weeks you can get him cheap, or cheaper. Don't upgrade your forward line. Leave it. Forward line's off limits. Outside of Zorko, forward line's off limits.
Yep. Warner, yep, for sure. Do you think I could trade out Roberts instead of Sanders next week to get Walsh and Track?
Potentially. Next week, sure. I think Roberts has at least 2 more weeks worth of cash gen, and that's why I've held him at the moment. But yeah, 100%. It really just depends. Like, he's got a 13 break even. He scores an 85 and 133. Sorry, a 33k price increase. So yeah, I would be holding him at least this week. But we'll wait and reassess next week.
Yep. Joel Caddy, yes, for sure, Aussie. I think he will. Who to trade out, Tom Brown or Howes? Brown, he's on the bye. Which rookie you guys go early on? Biggie, McAuliffe, Drury, or Garcia? I'm going early on Biggie.
Yeah, me too.
Thoughts from Jai Clark, Kirch, and Luke Jackson for Biggie, Graham, and Merritt. By the way, I'm off Jackson. I don't want those 70s and 60 points when Darcy's back and he's still at a high price. That's fair.
I wouldn't be trading Jackson. There's no way. Jackson's going to be a keeper in the forward line, and we don't even know when Sean Darcy's coming back. They're talking about maybe this week, maybe next week. People in chat are saying maybe 5 weeks. He's going to be sub. Like, it's a waste. It's a waste for me. But do what you want to do. You're spending... The problem with the trade is, right? You've got to keep a filled spot in the forward line. You're swapping that for a keeper filled spot in the midfield. Hopefully this trade, it seems like it, hopefully this trade nets you a lot of money. But, yeah, you a bit of a waste. You're not upgrading the team. You're just sidewaysing at this point.
Unless, though, you never anticipated Jackson to be a keeper to begin with.
Yeah, potentially.
Much love, Captain. You're a superstar. One last thing, Big J, you beating the Hawks this week?
No. No is my prediction. North Melbourne's in shambles, mate. And I don't even think I've tipped them this week. It would be nice. A win will be fantastic. Keeps us in the pack with West Coast and whatnot. And, stops all the talk about North Melbourne tanking and getting all these other comments. But we're just in a lot of trouble. And I think Hawks are going to do better.
Massive shout out to Mrs. Glenda Allen.
Hey, Glenda. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for watching.
Stelzy, Warner not playing at any level yet.
Yep.
Fair enough. That sucks. We're going to get Dacos and Stewart next week. Or is there better to aim for? Oh, Dacos.
Yeah.
Get Dacos.
Dacos, potentially, depending on what the prices of other players are, though. We might get a Sarong cheap. Potentially a Petrarca cheap. Like, I'm getting Petrarca over Dacos. Like, 100%. Fill out your midfield, guys. As I said, and probably the last thing to talk about before we head off, but our midfield has started to drop stinker scores. McKercher stinker score. Sanders stinker score. I wouldn't be surprised if Roberts are a sharp stinker score this week. We've got guys in the back line scoring 80s, 70s, and 90s. We've got forward line players scoring similar. The midfield is what's folding, and that's where our most expensive players are. Chuck your money in there at the moment, and you will do well. Like, it's going to work out well for you. Don't upgrade the positions that you've got players on field scoring better in. After this week, it's not best 18 anymore. You want to get rid of like a 60 and put a 160 in. It doesn't make sense.
Even if you spend money in the midfield, they're still prone to stinkers, Big J.
I know, but look at Sanders and McKercher this week. Imagine if that was
that wasn't their fault. That wasn't their fault.
I understand, but imagine if it was like, even just look at the averages though. Your guys on the bench are averaging like 60s and 70s, and your forward line is averaging 80s and 90s. Like, after this week, it's no longer best 18. Your guys potentially could be on field. You get rid of a 60. You don't get rid of a 90 in the back line. Like, It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make sense. We're going to bring in Butters, Merritt, or Ryan. Who would you lock in? Luke Ryan looks D1, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does. Looks good.
I think you could go Luke Ryan.
Expensive.
Guys, we said we'd finish at freaking 10 o'clock. We're now 10 past 10. I think that's it. As you say, Aussie abroad, we seem to be okay. We've got plenty of downgrades.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we should be okay, guys. We should be okay. Thank
Yes.
you all so much.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you all so much for joining in, watching, enjoying, donating. You guys are all unbelievable. Cheese, Velo, Travis, Shaq, DB, you guys are all absolute superstars, as well as every one of you here who's been commenting and asking us your questions all the way up until the last second. 2 hours and 40 minutes this stream was. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we enjoyed talking with you guys. I hope the singing wasn't very, very bad, but it is what it is. I'll give you that $5, Velo.
Guys, we're growing the channel. It's been fantastic. Hopefully, if you haven't already, smash that sub button, smash that like button. That algorithm's a pain in the butt. So, do that kind of thing for us. I'll have my team review out as soon as I can. And over the next week or so, I know it's another shorter week, so we'll have our captaincy video and our break evens, players to bring in this week video coming out on Wednesday. So stay tuned for that, and obviously live stream on Thursdays as well.
100%, guys, because here at the Centre Bounce, we do the hard work so that you guys don't have to.
Bye for now.